feeling on domination, and that is going to be the first map here as we go into bans. They need to find some success here in Dom if they want to feel more confident going into the series, because even yesterday, losing 2 maps to Shroud X on domination.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's going to be some changes. I imagine Emma Frost banned first for both sides, and the Magneto Protect, so we're probably going to see a lot of that character from 100 Thieves get played. I mean, considering how TTK played, and also on Hell's Heaven, how much this character could do, it's definitely big. I think there's so many takes that you can have on this meta right now. I mean, at points, if they're running full dive, you can swap to the Thing. We talked about how the Thing, maybe he doesn't have his place at times, but he can definitely pop off in the right scenario, especially not against a Bucky. But I think both of these teams have a very good Bucky player, in the fact that I think Cal can play it, I think Speedily could play it. Obviously NK is probably their, I would say, like, designated Bucky player, but overall I think they have a lot of answers to that sort of comp, and 100 Thieves immediately already are moving Terra's hero pool like we were talking about, Chip.
Yeah, and yeah, we're going to see the Torch ban here, which I know you mentioned you're not 100% convinced on Torch, but Speedery is so good on Torch and has a huge skill ceiling, a ton of movement, like you mentioned, very difficult to track and tough to take out of the sky. So that makes sense to me. I'm kind of on the fence with what you're saying. I agree with what you're saying, that there's a lot of really strong flyers, but why not take them all out? As you see here, the hard target here for Speedery.
Yeah, I think map 1, I think Yoki said it first from FlyQuest. It's just like map 1 is sort of like a feel out period. They're really targeting Speedily, like you said. On the opposite side, maybe a bit more traditional bans. But I think you just have to adapt, right? And that's the hard part of this patch, is that I see, like, I'll co-stream and I'll see, like, EMEA players, pros will be like, yo, like, how is NA this bad? Like, why are they trolling their bans? And then we'll go to EMEA, and then NA pros are like, wow, EMEA is so bad. Like, they're screwing up their bans so poorly. It's just like, I think we've just determined, Shiv, that the ban and protect phase right now is just really hard. Like, it's genuinely the most impossible thing to do, and is definitely a big skill, like you said, or how that is the largest skill in this game, and it really does feel like 70%, 30%. You need to adjust in the ban phase, and at the end of the day, you have to go out and play the game, and you have to play well. But regardless, it's very hard. You have to be ultra big brained. We're seeing even, like, Sentinels making decisions to ban 100 Thieves Torch, because for example, like, I just don't think the Torch ban is necessary for a team like 100 Thieves, because they're really good at Torch, but we've seen them swap off of Torch, right? In the middle of a series, they will stop playing Torch because they want to go to something else instead of playing that character. So I feel like that's kind of a wasted ban. But a lot of these teams, it's tough to make those decisions. It's tough to deviate per team, because you have to do so many hours of research just to figure out what to ban.
71% to 29-2 on the predictions here, bud. I mean, that is as big as we have ever seen in terms of a deviation. Allowing that Wolverine through too. I know what you're saying there, getting rid of the Torch. Obviously, maybe they just struggle as a team, or they just don't feel, they just don't want to deal with it and have their eyes up as much in the sky. But allowing that Wolverine through on a map like this, where Wolverine can find a ton of off angles, is a little crazy to me. But these teams have been practicing against stuff like this as we go into the first fight.
And they go to triple, right? I think triple on this map is solid. You're just gonna have to be able to get Cal set up on these ults. I think MB is definitely one of the best triple res teams in the game, if not the best. And they're already starting off with some cheese here, Shiv, versus this Wolverine.
The kidnap. They tried to make it happen. We saw Solaris do this. Maybe the inventors of it as we start this fight. Window does get success there with the kidnap, and Deletta goes down early. What a play, as Speedery and the rest of the team is now gonna try to make up for the early tackle. Up in the sky goes Kalush. Goes right down. Does he have the jump? He does manage to get out of there early on as we proceed with this fight. 100 Thieves now kind of owning this space. Wolverine in the front line, and Speedery finding one early. TTK goes down, and it's back and forth right off the start here. The bubble gets pulled out from the side of Envy again.
Yeah, that original cheese sort of play with the Wolverine, or with the teleporter, has definitely allowed Envy to just gain all the space on the point after Terra falling. They were able to kind of collapse towards this objective, and then after that, if Terra doesn't get that pull off the map on the Kalush, maybe he could take himself and that Strange out, but maybe that could have turned the fight. Regardless, huge position to be in now for Envy, as domination, that percentage can go up so fast. It's probably at 60-70% before you know it.
Yeah, I mean, getting that first fight win, we talk about the value in that, right, all the time. That early play when they're up in numbers, and they clearly found advantage through it, even though they were kind of getting driven back. They just played patiently and dropped back, used that bond to buy time. Look how many ults are up for Envy, as they have 6 ready. Speedery here going to be using this Galactic Legend in no time. As soon as this dance floor goes down, but down goes Window, out goes the Eye from Kalush, finds one. Will they dunk right back with the Meteor? They do. Down goes Nero, as again 100 Thieves are turning this around. Even being down ultimates, out goes the res, and the entirety of the team is back trying to take this fight. Up goes Invisible Boundary. Out again is the blind. Do they find value? Not quite yet. And oh my goodness, Terra with a 4-piece followed up by SJP. Cal gonna res back, but it's not gonna be enough. But at this point, 63% here for Envy.
And that was just intelligent by 100 Thieves to save onto that invisible boundary. Envy, maybe overlaying ultimates. It's tough because you don't really know when to exactly use that Guardians ultimate. When you use that Star-Lord ultimate, usually TTK is going to be there with the Meteor M to connect on him. But, you know, that was well played by 100 Thieves, and that's the terrifying part we've seen of Terra and on that Wolverine. He's just able to find that first pick. The res is forced. They're able to match the ultimates, and now in this fight, they're having the only ultimate in the game with that, with Delena and his ultimate. He has no Meteor M on the other side to counter it.
Yeah, I mean, when you have the Goddess of Death available, although maybe not one of the strongest quote-unquote ultimates in the game right now, especially when there's no strategist ult up, it's far more valuable and much more dangerous, especially as a second life. And here it goes. Up goes the Goddess, and Speedery finds Harvey, though, down back in number. Speedery, make that 2. Do I see 3? Delena gonna find Month. Is the res up here for Month? If so, that will turn those numbers right back. Kaluj onto Terra again. Envy dropping back, giving that space for a little bit, coming right through, and Month does have the res. Delena finds Nero, but still heavily down in numbers and is going to be forced to retreat back to the team.
Yeah, that's the difficult part of, by the way, interesting angle from Delena's camera. Just
smelling the screen.
The monitor. He's smelling the screen. I love it. But regardless, unfortunately, versus these compositions, versus this triple res comp, you have to get those 3 eliminations first to really equal even 1. So, unfortunately, Terra as well is disgusting last stand.
It's just so consistent with these last stands, just knowing exactly when to engage. Up we go here. TTK hasn't missed much, but he does there. Cal gonna res back window. Vinny gonna find Kaluj. Cal gonna res Kaluj right back. Numbers dead even as we go into another fight. And look here, 95% for Envy. Dance floor goes out for 100 Thieves. Can SJP bring the team in? There's the tackle again onto Kaluj, who's holding on, making sure the team is staying healthy. Now driving in once more. Bond is out. Out goes the eye, and it's big. Window from downtown, not able to land, but Vinny collapses in on Nero. TTK onto Cal. Speedery is going to jump off. Delena on the window, and they are going to take this point back, but 99% here for Envy.
Yeah, it's called the Guardians comp, but it definitely could be seen as a zombie comp. I mean, it's just amazing how many times Envy comes back to the point. Terra is there, though, on Wolverine. That's the one hero you definitely need versus a comp like this, since you could just kind of melt people down, doing one of the highest damage or DPS in the game. So right now, Terra has last stand as well, having the strongest ultimate in the game, and there's no strategist ultimates. I'd be very scared as Envy right now.
Yeah, this is going to be in their favor, an ult advantage here, but it's closely going to be followed here. Speedery does have that Galactic Legend. Out goes the, invisible boundary. Immediately shutting that down is going to be a tough look. Good counter. Good idea there by Harvey. But the tackle out of the sky. Harvey! Oh, I mean, Terra, excuse me, out of nowhere. Coming in hot. Vinny going to find Speedery. Speedery going to res back up, though. The team is going to retake here. Remember, this Guardians comp, you do not count those picks too early. Got to keep your eyes on the KO feed. Nero going to dive in here. One of the strongest strategists in the game finds one. As SJP goes down, Delena back on Cal. Speedery onto Harvey here. And this is another trade situation as Speedery takes out TTK. Will they get this first map here? It looks like Envy is doing a great job, but the teleport likely, it cannot come through. That should be it unless this touch is crazy.
Yeah, I think you're right. I mean, yep. Nope, that will go to Envy first round. And Shiv, I think that 100 Thieves, I mean, it wasn't necessarily their fault, but I feel like they assumed Envy had more ultimates than they did, right? They were still a little bit away from ults. I mean, they maybe could have followed up on that Star-Lord res. Unfortunately, it's tough to find that pick. I would have liked to see them play a little bit more aggressive, especially versus Envy, who takes advantage of that space that they have, coming in with that cloak ultimate from Nero, creating all of that pressure onto the backline. We saw SJP fall. If maybe they got onto the backline a little bit earlier before reses were even out and before Nero even had his ultimate, maybe they could have found something. So I think they gave maybe a little bit too much credit to a team like Team Envy, or maybe they just want to play a little more aggressive, allow Terra a great last stand location, and unfortunately, because they gave up all that space, they just gave up the point, and Envy took full advantage.
No, that's beautifully well put. I do agree with you. It's tough to ult track, especially if you don't have somebody who's really good at it. I know that sounds like a crazy thing to say, but at this level of play, a lot of the times these teams will have somebody that is really doing that, really good at understanding damage and what it translates to in terms of ult charge and what they could output. Well, one of the craziest things I got to say is the ban was a tough look. I think 100 Thieves did a pretty good job with it, believing, yeah, like you said, Guardians comp and Envy, and them electing to use this composition. This is a really good choice, and it's obviously paying off from here on a mode they usually don't find success in.
Yeah, I think Envy is one of the best teams in the entire world at running this Guardians comp, and it's tough because you want to take out the advantages of your other team. Every single team in Marvel Rivals has a weakness, right? Whether that be group, whether that be not being able to play Guardians comp. Every team has a weakness, and we're surely going to see 100 Thieves maybe deviate the bans in the upcoming ones. And same thing for Envy, right? We know how good Terra is on Wolverine.
Yeah, but you know what? It's not horrible when you have a Warlock with a good bond sense. Oh, and that's a good clobbering time here from Kaluj. Are they able to find value? No. Dance floor goes out there, holding on for 100 Thieves. Kaluj very low now, is going to fall to Lena. Good shots there, and one's up, and there's that board again. Bring the team right back. Hold on to the point. Vinny on the window now. Cal gonna res window right back. Terrifying Speedery in the off angle, and another mean tackle to Lena. Gonna clean that up with Kaluj, and that res will not come through again as it just happened. Speedery gonna pull out that Galactic Legend. Will they be able to get any value? Not quite yet. Again, just stalling, but nobody has the point just yet. This is going to be very back and forth. Up we go with the meteor. Doesn't land. It does not. SJP finding a pick onto window. SJP doing that so frequently on these early picks. Luna does so much damage in this patch. Up in the height again to Lena, using this Goddess of Death, followed up with the Eye of Agamotto. Can they combine together? They do, as Lena takes out two. Vinny onto Speedery, and again for a two-piece. SJP cleaning that up, and they will get this point.
Yeah, this time 100 Thieves benefited from playing slow again. I mean, they get to hold on to Harvey's ultimate. The invisible boundary still up in this fight. Terra with the last stand available as well. Envy deviating from their original idea with the thing. Kaluj unfortunately not liking that character so far. Gonna go over to that to the Captain America. And it's funny to talk about Captain America because I know a lot of people will say how EMEA probably has the best Captain Americas. In NA, maybe at times can look like they don't have the best Captain America. So it's funny that that's the thing. But here comes that last stand again from Terra early on. Actually misses, but forces out the bond.
Yeah, and that is the counter, and that's where they're tracking Vinny. Gonna find window. SJP again with that pick to Lena onto Speedery. Wow, good picks there in that neutral. Not using too much, obviously, forcing out last stand, but once again, 100 Thieves heavily up in ult advantage. Double strat ults ready. TTK gaining and Vinny as well. This is going to be a tough battle back here for Envy.
A tough fight in the 1v1 with that cloak and dagger, but right now 100 Thieves at 100% on, or 50% on the board. Envy coming up on those ultimates, and you talked about that soul bond and Adam Warlock. I mean, that's one of the strongest abilities in the game alongside the crystals from Loki, so I think we're definitely have to watch out for that in this fight. Even though the ultimates are lacking at the current moment, Envy will be up on them shortly on top of that Captain American ult, which is basically another strategist ult.
Yeah, we haven't seen Envy run Guardians a lot in this tournament specifically. They found a lot of success in the past, so it is cool to see it now, but they've been doing a lot of that Mantis Ultron damage boost instead, and now they are resorting back to this. Envy now gonna have these ults. We do see SJP bringing out the dance floor. Terra ready with another last stand. It seems like he has 100 of these things. There is some strong damage down. Goes window early on. A tackle right on to Cal. Cal gonna fall here. Make that two. Vinny gonna get two. Month gonna res back. And this point, Terra's just tracking, waiting for the rest to happen. I don't know if Cal's gonna be able to do it. He may have to quickly reset here. TTK on a Month. Kaluj onto Delena. And they are keeping this space forward. Nero very low now.
Yeah, Nero gonna fall or get incredibly low, but back onto the team. Cal resurrected himself and will be available in this fight, but right now they're on the back foot. We'll see 100 Thieves reacts with the ults.
Yeah, almost 100% here in this early fight. There is that touch here from Kaluj. Kaluj going to try to dive into the back line. Ult advantage is actually roughly even. Envy slightly ahead. Speedery, it gets canceled out of the sky there, I believe, by Terra. Didn't have eyes on TTK. Going to dunk directly out of Kaluj. Down goes Speedery. Yes, it was Terra's tackle to cancel that Galactic Legend. That is insane. Double res comes up here from Cal. The numbers are even again. Delena onto Month, but what do you know? Right back into the fight. The res is there again. The numbers are even. Can Window find this dunk? And yes, Window does. That is huge. Again, with the Goddess of Death up, trying to trade back, but Envy is up in numbers, if you can believe it, even after all these KOs.
Yeah, that's what happens when you have that Adam Warlock. I mean, you only need to find one pick, and you're at a huge advantage. Terra now has to walk all the way back from spawn as 100 Thieves pushed out. Delena needs to find a pick, and oh no, it's Month to find the first pick, the carry. One of the strategist carries of Envy.
Yeah, well done here by Envy. Good patience. Even 100 Thieves, I like the positioning, retaking there, allowing them to get some touch on a point, and then trying to retake there when Terra got back. Terra finding Kaluj, who was trying to find value in the back line prior. That is a tough look. They're going to have to come back quickly. Obviously, no res there for Cap.
Have no res, and if you lose this round, I feel like Adam Warlock is actually really solid on this round with those reses. It's very easy to hide. It's going to be way harder on the next round. And oh no, Window gets picked early by Vinny. 100 Thieves doing a good job right now.
TTK is really strong. One of the best vanguards with these meatballs. Does not land here, though. The space nuke. Speedery trying to put some damage out. Going to spin to win. Only 5% to alt. Not finding a ton of value there. There's that last hit again. Terra, can he be stopped? Month very low. Going to try to tackle back here with the dash. Great patience. And there goes an alt again. Forcing that out is insane value. The team is going to collapse. And now the portal's out. Whole team going to be here as we do see some passive pops for all of the Guardians. Here is Star-Lord again. Very low on the Vanguard line as Vinny falls. Deletta taking out Kaluj again, and these are again an even number fight.
Yeah, I mean, that's all Team Envy need. I mean, they're coming up with that ult soon. Kaluj also have to coming back, and it's fortunate that he got picked off in that fight. Harvey as well, able to find one more on a Speedily. He's not going to be back in the fight because Cal doesn't have that res just yet until now. So it's going to be another fight, an incredibly long one. But Cal with the ult does have that res to go up the high ground. Going to wait to use it maybe till everybody. Oh. They don't touch again because they got cleaned up off the point. I forgot about that. That was an important aspect to touch on because 100 Thieves just had Terra on the point with the claws, and that's always going to be deadly.
That's all you need, right? You know what I mean? It's all you need. Just a pissed off Logan. Put him on the point, let him do his thing. And I mean, crazy tackles there. You can look now at these stat lines broken up. Delena doing a great job there too, as well as Vinny, who's finding a ton of luck here in the Vanguard roll. Not luck, but success, excuse me, as Terra as well with 19k damage. But TTK 23 on that Magneto, 25 from Delena. And you look over on the opposition, obviously heavily going to be on the shoulders of Speedery because it's the main duelist there with 8 finals. But you can have a ton of, you can get KO'd 100 times. It doesn't matter because you're always going to be back in the fight.
Absolutely. And I think, you know, how 100 Thieves are playing, it's just so patient. I think this might be one of the better counter-engaged teams in the entire game, right? They kind of let Envy run at them. They pick off speedily. They allow Terra to find those picks by, you know, playing slow. You could see even when he let Vinny kind of fall back and go down into that invisible boundary, you could see every single ultimate is super passive because they always know Envy wants to go forward, right? They soul bond, they go aggressive with the blasters, they try to enable speedily. So as long as you can outlive that first engage, allow Delena to find these picks onto the Hela, the longer these fights go, the better it is for 100 Thieves, as long as they don't lose anybody, because their backline, Harvey and SJP, do a great job of keeping everybody alive.
Very well put here, owning the high side. Kaluj gonna start the fight off there with that freedom charge. Remember, stay inside that path and you will stay healthy. Kaluj going directly, just walking right through him, not walking, he's Ubering right through the back line. Will they fall? Delena though, turning it right back in his favor. Down goes Munch. Speedery onto Harvey. Munch gets rezzed up. Delena gonna drop Nero. Window onto Vinny as Window is keeping the pressure forward. Cal gonna res back up with the Nero as we see up on the high side. Another one of those reses from Cal. Seemingly every fight nowadays. Speedery gonna pop the Galactic Legend. Gonna be difficult to find value through the dance floor. Terra finding 100 picks, it seems like. TTK onto Speedery now, and nobody's gonna be able to be res through that as 100 Thieves through those ultimates. Still hold on to the point. Come on.
And that's the tough part. I mean, Cal used his res, but there's nowhere to really hide on Adam Warlock when you're against the team who reads Adam Warlock so well. Envy switching compositions now. I mean, it just makes a little bit of sense, just considering that this Adam Warlock is so hard to run on this point that maybe he's still going to keep running it because they have that Mantis. No, Cal's going to go over to the Hela now, and that makes a lot of sense. I just feel like on this round specifically, it's so hard to make Triple work. Maybe Triple can work on more maps with more cover, right? We have to go to Araco, some of these other ones, but right now Triple's not working, and it's a smart idea to switch off it.
I'm with you. That was a great call last map. I think it's a difficult spot. It's more open and it's more readable. Obviously, there's a little bit of off angles on the right side, but you're in a horrible position on the respawn if you go underground there. TTK very low on HP. Vinny gonna find one, but Cal takes out Delena. Speedery now going to be taking out TTK on Logan. There is going to be almost a complete switch in comp here, getting rid of that Guardians composition like you had mentioned. And there goes the boundary. Well done. Cal again onto Vinny. This is a difficult thing to put out these eternal bonds are on these moving platforms. Terra takes out 2 Speedery and Cal. My goodness, back and forth for days. Not quite sure who's up anymore, but it doesn't matter because Envy has the point and they are pressing forward.
Yeah, and this is an interesting variation of the comp as well. Window over to that Venom to go with these dives. We know Window prefers that character as well as Cal. Oh my God, gets tracked down by Terra. Even though Envy has that point, 100 Thieves kind of just march in.
And here we go. Speedery, look for this. Oh, it's mean. Onto the backline, doesn't find value. Great bubble there to slow up the pace. Delena gonna take out Speedery, and it gets returned right back. Return to center. Delena, make that 2. Pop it off in this game. Terra, down goes Window. Kalush falls, and wow, 100 Thieves returns and answers instantaneously.
Yeah, this is an absolute banger already. You know, both teams, you know, back and forth. Just so many plays on Wolverine. This is definitely a star-studded matchup with Speedily and Terra playing that character alongside Cal and Delena. A classic matchup between two AIM gods. And right now, I'm curious to see which team kind of comes up on top. We have that Doctor Strange difference and the Venom difference alongside the Loki and the Invis difference alongside the Luna Snow and the Cloak and Dagger. So it's a backline difference a little bit, but I think it's going to be even for both teams.
Seems like both teams shook hands and said, hey, how about we go to season 1 again and restart these compositions? And here we go with an immediate feast. Doesn't find any value, not quite. More like a snack as they retake the height. Delena gonna drop back, and oh, that meteor. Oh, it was huge from Kaluj, and it does get one with a follow-up from Delena, but they weren't able to get much more. Terra is angry, and there's that last stand. Down goes 2. Make it soon to be 3. Will they be able to retake this point? And up goes the meteor again. Downtown, TTK weaving it like it's his job. Down goes Month with that ult out, and that's a ton of value.
A ton of value indeed. I think it's going to close out. I mean, Window's going to have that portal. They're able to come back maybe with Nero as well, sustaining on the point, so they'll have a chance. How about Komodo from Vinny? Doesn't... no! Oh, can't touch the point as well. And 100 Thieves win map number 1 on Hell's Heaven.
You can see the frustration on Cal's face in the bottom right there if you had eyes on the camera. Just the touch at the end. Although it was a tough fight to win, just being down in numbers like that, obviously you hate to not at least give it a try by not being able to get onto that point. But what do you know here? Logan himself, when he loses the map, actually gets angry, gets his charge up in real life, and just starts sweeping and is the MVP and takes map 1.
Well, let's take a look back at the bans as well. I mean, this is really how we got on that comp in the first place, right? We had that Emma Loki ban alongside the Cloak and Dagger and Torch ban for team Envy. We can sort of dictate how that went wrong, I feel like, a little bit, right? The Cloak and Dagger protect was big. It was also nice to have that Loki because it wasn't protected, or sorry, because it was banned. But we could see, I feel like so many backlines in this game are so strong, and it might be more important, honestly, to focus on duelists, right? That's the biggest thing, is that you can ban out Cloak and Dagger, you can ban out Loki, but the problem is you still have Invisible Woman and you still have Luna Snow, who are two pretty much as good support strategists. And you know, we talk about how strong Loki is, but sometimes it can feel like it's a bit of an overinvestment to get rid of him just because you have so many good backlines, right? So many good strategists. So I feel like that's a slight overinvestment from Envy, but you know, it's what map 1 is for, right? We're in the first to 3, we're in a best out of 5, so you can make those changes, you can adapt. But I feel like in North America, there's not a lot of teams that make those quick adaptations. Envy, I feel like they're going to feel confident going into map 2 running that Guardians comp, but it depends on what map they take us to. Sometimes Guardians comp, I think, cannot be that strong. I mean, there's certain points like on Convergence where I think Guardians comp is strong, but we saw what could happen against the team that knows how to play against Triple. They'll just look for Cal, they'll make sure he never has a good res set up, and then you're forced onto a different composition in which I don't think they have a massive advantage because you have the Invisible Woman to counter the Wolverine. So there's so many like things that can change the game, and for 100 Thieves, I feel like they sort of played it well, especially around Terra, like you said, just really gave him all the strategy or all of the support that he needed.
Yeah, I like that call out. And you mentioned there in the beginning, talking about strategies, kind of being a little underlooked. SJP, if you looked in that feed, yeah, you saw a lot of MVP plays from the duelists doing what they do, including the Vanguards, who 14 finals, 11 finals, really good from TTK and Vinny. But SJP, if you looked at the feed there, was getting KOs before a lot of these plays were made. And that goes to show you the strength of Luna. And that's why you see Luna banned a ton in these maps, because Luna is not only an incredibly strong healer, but does a ton of damage right now. And if you get those picks early, the value in that being a strategist, being able to find picks is more than you can ask for.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think right now 100 Thieves are in the driver's seat, and I think as long as they keep getting that Wolverine through, it's going to be great, because we've seen, I mean, Shib, Wolverine is one of the most disgusting characters in the game. I think it's sort of getting on most people's tier lists, like slowly climbing up. I mean, you saw, this is what we're talking to you about Human Torch, right? It seems like on Human Torch, if you're just sort of like just marked all the time in the sky like we saw with Terra, I mean, is it even fair to say that Wolverine might be the best duelist in the game?
You're asking me, I say yes. I want to ban Wolverine in every game I'm ever in, so you're preaching to the choir.
That's because you're an Emma player. That's because you're a Vanguard player, okay? Bias mofo over here,
100% bias. No joke about it.
No way about it.
No, even so, it's just so difficult. Yeah. You know, you talk about the passive having essentially an iframe, a second life, and then just the raw damage output, gaining those close to 100 charge. Your last stand being a super impactful ultimate that finds a ton of KOs. I mean, this is, and I'm going to be honest, man, this is like the 3rd game in a row with Terra that you found 50 limbs. So,
oh my God.
Like, in my opinion, just like Sentinel said, you got it. That's got to go every game.
We'll talk about it later because I think we have to throw to a break in a second, but I do feel like, this Wolverine is definitely the strong suit of North America in general, and that's because of Terra, like you said. So we're going to go into map 2 in just a second. We're going to do a short break. We'll be back for game number 2 in just a bit.
100 Thieves taking the first map against Envy. Envy in that domination looked a lot better than we've seen in the past, though. It's just that final map, it kind of faltered a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's still going to be back and forth between these teams, and I think in the Ignite series, we've had the best series of Marvel Rivals that you can watch, right? I think there's a reason why most people are like in chat being like, hey, tell your friends about this, because right now, $70,000 is on the line for first place, $250,000 prize pool for stage 1 ship, and this is only game number 2, right? Obviously, these players have punched their tickets to China already, but everybody wants to win because this is the most money anybody's competed for, and we're only in stage number 1 of the Ignite series.
Yeah, we talked about top earner. We mentioned that earlier, and this is nothing to scoff at. This is 70K. This is money that's going to help you. This is going to help your setup. This is going to help you succeed in the future. This is going to help your life. And we talk about getting to land. That's already locked in now for the Americas region, so a little bit of weight off your shoulders. But the prize pool, right, first to second is 35K difference. That is huge.
Yeah, and then you build that momentum moving forward. You can maybe get more sponsorships for your team. A lot of things definitely end up succeeding for you. We saw so many unsigned teams that look very good. Ban phase, by the way, not coming through, but over in EMEA, Burr, I think this team definitely could have been looked at, definitely could have been signed before Ignite Series. Now they won EMEA and they're unsigned, so they're about to make a huge bag, I'm pretty sure, from a bidding war, I imagine, behind the scenes. Meanwhile, for Team Envy, they're banning that Wolverine now, Shib, so they're taking some priority in moving it into their hands, right? Taking that Envy out of the game, taking the Punisher, focusing a lot on Terra's hero pool already.
Yeah, and that is a strategy that has seen success in the past, and that's what I was mentioning. It's just a smart decision here, I think, for the side of Envy, who is now trying to change some things up. You can't let that Wolverine through. If you get 4 straight 50 bombs in a row, we're all in trouble.
So who do we protect here? It's the Punisher. What do you think about that, Chip? The Punisher protect alongside the Magneto. I mean, both those characters synergize well. They also got rid of 100 Thieves Punisher, group band on the opposite side, but what do you think here, Shib? What do you think about this ban phase so far?
Yeah, I think it's good. I think this is what Envy needed to do to change things up, and I think Cal on that Punisher is really, really, really good, and that's probably what they're banking on here. I'm assuming, yep, we're going to see Speedery potentially on Wolf or in the sky. Actually, they don't have much options for this guy, so, ooh, look at that. Maybe an Iron Man, but yeah, definitely Cal on the Punisher.
Yeah, we've seen it's viable. I mean, like we've seen with I think, was it with Jay even today said maybe you have to ban out Iron Man versus Sentinels, but yeah, what about versus Envy? Because I don't know, at least in terms of what we see from this ban phase, personally, I would actually favor Envy in terms of their bans, right? The group had to get banned because you didn't have Wolverine, right? As we've seen in Sentinels, if you don't have Wolverine on your team, you just can't play against Groot. It's so hard. I mean, you could say Bucky, you could say some of these characters, but I feel like anything besides Wolverine feels like it's very hard to play against Groot from what we've seen. So that's definitely a good counter ban, but I would argue, Shib, that Speedly's hero pool, just based on how it is, because it's sort of not off meta, but maybe not the strongest picks at the current moment, just with the Storm. I know Human Torch is still good, but don't get me wrong, I just feel like Punisher and Wolverine, 2 of Terra's best characters, are definitely more scary, in my opinion, than those as well. And the Psylocke also still goes through, so there's so many things that have happened in that ban phase, Shib, but personally, I would favor Envy in terms of how they approached it.
I'm with you on that. I think that's a great call out. I do think that we can see Speedery on Wolverine, good Wolverine as well, but not electing to do that just yet until they, oh, just kidding. They are electing to do that right now. Excuse me. You saw a little switch there, but, oh, no, Psylocke, what do you know? Rock, paper, scissors, month now. Gonna be pressing forward on the Luna too. Just checking things out in the beginning there. We are gonna see that damage boost comp here as Cal isn't on the Punisher instead. They're gonna go down that path. They saw what they were dealing with. This is really smart, and went back and traded up compositions to try to find more success. Terra gonna be on the Winter Soldier though. Bucky Barnes, love it.
I gotta be honest though, like I feel like, I want to see this comp do well on Envy's side, but I feel like this comp is sort of outdated. I feel like we've seen this like a week ago in Asia. We've seen this in EMEA. Personally, I feel like this comp's overrated unless Delena, oh my gosh, just gets picked early from Nero. That's kind of a weakness of 100 Thieves. I feel like Delena has not necessarily been performing to expectations, I think, on Psylocke, although he's still a fantastic player.
Yeah, last map he absolutely popped off, but one thing we got to call out is Nero here on Ultron. In my personal opinion, one of the best Ultrons in the game. We talk about that in the cozy cast and already finding value. Kalu's going to take out Vinny too, down a few numbers, and out goes a few ultimates. They're going to have to retake this fight. Not going to get 3 full fights here. So well played again. Nero finding a second. Do we see 3 up into Delena here? Delena going to have to go back and reset with the team. Is going to have that Hella, which is difficult to go into Ultron, but Ultron's movement in that sky very, very quick. Tough to land shots on. And you know you can ultimately track their window. Going to find TTK. That's another pick. Will they get this point this quickly? And here comes the dance floor to buy them some time. Up on the point they go. Eye of Agamotto right at the door. Doesn't get value. Window going to drop back. Good positioning. Using that to send. And oh, must have been a crystal play or a shield. Didn't see much value, but good idea there from Window. We're weaving that thing with the descend button.
Absolutely. Here comes the dance of butterflies from Speedily as well. Just cleans up the back line. Fantastic work from Team Envy. Just finding the staggers now, but right now Envy just kind of finding those picks on Delena, forcing him over to the Hella. I think making 100 Thieves uncomfortable is definitely their #1 priority. For Envy though, this comp is still solid for sure. It's just difficult, I think, to make it work versus specific compositions. 100 Thieves on their side. They've got the Bucky, they've got the Hella. You would think maybe Bucky would do well, especially versus Triple Strategist, because you can just kind of burn through all of that health pool, burn through all of that healing. But right now, Envy pushed through first point so fast, and we know second phase is hard to defend.
Look at that dash over to make sure team's a little bit healthy. There's a ton of ults here for 100 Thieves as we see. Caps are running directly at the team. They're going to follow up right onto the back line. Cal holding on to that all. Good patience. Nero as well, already on his second with Ultron. Terra, TTK, Delena. It will have ults ready as the numbers will be in their favor in terms of ults for this next fight as Harvey's going to be there too. Team's going to reset on both sides though, and we do see that Ultron bot on Strange, who does a great job healing. And there, you talk about, Vanguards that can find success with Ultron if there is a duo. And I would say Strange just being able to dance around that shield because it does give you time to have more delayed healing. Good positioning, way to drop back and make that ultimate almost a moot point there. Moot point, I think. I don't even know anymore. Terra, Perception using this Kraken impact on height. Here goes the eye. Does land on TTK and SJP. Down goes SJP. Does this meteor land? It does. Very weak there from Delena. Way to drop back onto the dance floor. Good vision there from the side of Harvey with that copy to make sure the team stays healthy. Terra going to drop back, try to play together, but that's going to be 2 more. Speedery, Window, Month, finding a 4-piece. Vinny very low now. Make that 5 as they walk in.
Yeah, I suppose, whatever Envy does, just play harder on Speedily in this Psylocke. We've seen so many Psylocks pop off. I think this has been a difference maker. By the way, portal block coming through from Kaluj, and SJP the only one to walk out. I mean, 4 on cart 2. They're going to just blast through this, and SJP might get staggered.
Yeah, that's a great portal block. That is insane.
He's on cart though.
Oh wait, excuse me. What's the portal block? I don't even. I'm so.
They did, but he made it through. I mean, they're still touching though, and other players made it through. So eventually, Terra's going to be back here on Iron Fist out of all heroes.
Yeah, there must have been a little bit of a window to sneak through there, as I think everyone got out. I got to get eyes again towards the back line. No, there is somebody locked in. I think it is Harvey who's locked. Yeah, Harvey's locked in back there right now. Nero going to use the Rage of Ultron directly onto the front line, putting that damage out, and it's eaten immediately by the meteor right to the back line. You see there, you gotta love the controller. If you're a controller fan, definitely viable if you can get the job done at this kind of level. TTK, one of the strongest Vanguards in the game, using the sticks. Up in the sky we go again. Vinny dunking, does land. Excuse me, TTK dunking. Window goes down. Vinny gonna fall to the side of Nero. Numbers even down here again. And another dance of the butterfly. Will it get value for the side of Delena this time? No, it does not. A freeze out. Terra playing Iron Fist. And that's more unique. Only seen this a few times in this tournament. TTK on a month, doing a good job following up on some of these picks, just trying to get some help up there into the sky, and directly onto the back line is Cal at about 50 HP. Delena gonna take out Cal, and they're still down in numbers. So 100 Thieves figuring this composition out. TTK with 2 more, and that is a really well done and patient fight for 100 Thieves, who are just dancing back and forth with picks.
Hey, where's Samito at, man? He's talking about how this character's not very good. Look now. I mean, Terra on this Iron Fist, we know how good he is on this character, and it makes sense versus these flyers, versus a lot of the health pool, right? He's going to do more damage with that over health, with the percentage damage that Iron Fist provides. So Terra, and then also on top of that, SJP gets the team up to boost people back away. It's really good when Speedily comes in for those dives. Underrated team up, that team up between Iron Fist and Luna Snow.
You know what? That is a really good call, and something honestly I forget a lot. Very valuable team up for Luna with that push away, and I believe it slows too. I'd have to double check. Don't play a ton of Luna, but that is a really strong anti-dive team up as Terra gonna try to take that space. Is holding on to this ultimate here, ready to start punching for days. Some strong damage. Kaluj holding this doorway with Dr. Strange. You know how strong those eyes can be, and out goes the Eye of Agamotto. Does it land on the back line? It does. A ton. TTK though gonna find Cal, and not much off of that eye this. It is matched here for the opposition as we do see SJP bringing out the dance floor.
Yep, and they're surviving for so long. Ultimates out. Awagamoto didn't connect, like you said, and now everybody falls over to Delena and Terra. I mean, you get the freeze and you slow down Terra, but right now, I mean, 100 Thieves are looking so good. 15 seconds left to go, Shib, and the Iron Fist, a character maybe a lot of people doubted, is looking good, but that's the kind of that's what we've noticed so far from this tournament. It feels like characters that are underlooked, underappreciated. Iron Man, Iron Fist, you know, Magic. They can be viable in the right situation.
Oh, it does get there. What? That is insane. I'm with you, though. You know what? You can't count characters out. These pros know what they're doing, and we're finding a ton of value. Who would have thunk it, right? Like you see here, Psylocke, Iron Fist, Luna. Like, what a combo. And it's just working. And as I'm saying that, they are getting pushed in here now, buying some time, playing patiently. You don't need to get in there until it's close to the point. Remember that. It's not about holding it early. You just got to get there before the last 0.01 meter. Delena gonna find Speedery, though, and again, 100 Thieves back in numbers. Terra finds window. TTK out of Kaluge. Will Delena clean these up? Terra gonna be there. Does fall to Cal. Cal, good shots there. Month very low and not able to touch, and it looks like 100 Thieves hold them before .2.
Wow. I mean, I was sort of doubting the Ultron composition, but not for that reason. Not for the fact that we would see Iron Fist out of all heroes come through from 100 Thieves. So what a play from them. And 100 Thieves just switching to a sort of hard counter dive. And, you know, unfortunately for Envy, they're not like on a hard dive composition, right? They do have that Psylocke. They can send him in there. But because you don't have that Captain America, because you're not going for that hard dive, it's kind of tough. And you don't really want to hard commit to it either, because SJP, like we we're talking about, has that shift to kind of push everybody away. Harvey, so good on Loki, able to sort of just keep everybody alive. So right now for Envy, I mean, they've been struggling with this composition. I do feel like the Ultron's sort of outdated, but that's only because of, you know, there's sort of counters to it, like what 100 Thieves are doing. So right now 100 Thieves looking so good, but we've seen this team kind of struggle on Aegis Path before, on attack specifically. So it's not over just yet, even though they did do a really good job on defense.
Yeah, and look, you're actually seeing a change here. It's no longer going to be Nero on Ultron. It's going to be Speedery. And yeah, I'm with you. I think it just depends on location of the map, right? I do think .2 Ultron definitely not is nearly as successful in my thoughts, just simply due to the tight angles, and there is escape points virtually everywhere. You know, straight ahead to the right side, there's height on the right side, there's an escape left in the doorway, so it's just easy to kind of get away from the height. Although there is a lot of points to dance through, you just don't get as much value as something more brawly in that tight quarters. So I'm with you on that. In that map, or in that point for sure, it definitely felt a little outdated.
Yeah, absolutely. Now here on the attack, they're going to go against this triple Vanguard composition that Envy loves to play, or yeah, that Envy loves to play on their defense. And 100 Thieves, their counter is just put Terra on Iron Fist, Delena on that Storm.
Yeah, get that damage boost out there. We have seen Cal find a ton of success here on his rarely used Magneto, just pulling that thing out 3 games ago. He said for the first time in the second game we had a 5-piece with not even an ultimate, just standard clicks. It was so smooth. So definitely can play the hero well. Delena dancing around card here. Good idea, keeping that damage boost. Notice playing low so that it's widespread, but Speedery taking Delena's dome off. Window gonna punch right through Terra, and the hold is still strong here for Envy. Doing a good job with this triple Vanguard. Triple strategist strat.
Yeah, I think last time they put Speedily on that rocket, and I think it was Nero over to this to the Ultron, but because this Luna got through, because the Loki got through, they're able to play this sort of composition. Now both dance floors are out.
Yeah, that is true. It does change things up. Awagamoto goes out. Can they collapse off it? Not quite yet. Good idea there from Kaluge, but it does force out a ton. Up in the sky we go. TTK is different with these meteors. Down goes Nero. SJP onto Cal. Terra taking out Window, and now Kaluge falls, and that is everyone, as the entirety of 100 Thieves are going to get out of their spawn door. We will also see likely a teleport back here quickly to guarantee 3 fights.
Can you maybe stop it?
He's going to kick him back into the doorway. Yeah. So you actually can.
He has to, Shib.
Yep, you can with Fist. Fist is one of those rare abilities that can actually punt you back in the doorway. And it didn't happen. It didn't happen. Just missed. He missed a little bit right. It went a little bit right there. But wow, that would have been insane. That would have been crazy. Good idea. Just didn't come through. But now you're going to be in a tough position. Now we go right through that portal on the other side if possible. Speedery up on the high side. Here comes another one of these meteors from Cal. This one does not connect. Nero going to pull out the dance floor. Nobody with ults now. Going to be a neutral. Delena going to be very close, and that'll be a good time here for 100 Thieves to use that Goddess of Death. Oh goodness, Terra out of the sky, and that's why you play Fist. Anti-flyers for days.
I mean, the underrated player there, Delena, finding the pick. They were down so many ultimates. Envy had every single ult, and yes, he didn't get that boop like we talked about, but regardless, Envy portaled, had 4 ultimates, 100 Thieves had nothing. Terra goes in, Delena comes back towards that point, at least a little bit of confusion, and then finds that pick. Delena not talked about as one of those top players in the game. Definitely gets not enough respect on 100 Thieves, and you can see Delena starting to pop off right now in the neutral.
Yeah, I think one of the, you know, it's rare to say, I will say one of the few people that's getting a ton of value still with hella good eye, but the crystals get pulled out to match, but great idea. A ton of people getting knocked out there to buy some time on point. Up in the sky again, we talk about Delena using that goddess of death. There's that damage was from Harvey. Good communication. TTK, how is that possible from downtown? Terra gets 2 there. Vinny on to Cal. Vinny is so good on group 2, getting enabled to play that group right now is going to help out 100 Thieves with this second point. And will they push through here? They've got 3 minutes and 30 on as we go towards the second point.
You know, I think 100 Thieves took that Ryan Amazing interview personally. They said they throw 100 Thieves is more of a basic team. They you kind of know what they're going to play. 100 Thieves took that really to a next level by playing Iron Fist, right? He said Ryan Amazing said they throw the curveball at 100 Thieves and they don't react usually. Now 100 Thieves are the ones throwing the curveball towards Team Envy, who are running more standard composition.
And I've said it before, and I'll say it again. I do think 100 Thieves is a team that if you get in their head and you get mad at them, they come back stronger. It's one of those teams that love the clutch moments. They don't want to be, you know, they don't want to be assumed for the W. And that's what they honestly don't play as well when they're in those situations. But when they're thought to be a little bit of underdogs, they just play so smooth here. Terra, and here we go. Oh, good mini stun there to cancel and slow it up. Not cancel, but they do find value. Cal gonna be on that Punisher now. Gonna drop an immediate. Terra goes right down. Here comes Speedery on the Wolverine, looking for some more value. Groot is going to be in the danger zone as that is likely going to be switched up. It is, excuse me, onto the thing now.
Dude, Terra's over to Black Panther now. I mean, he's just trying everything. They are really trying a lot versus this team, Envy. They have 5 ultimates, but we've seen them choke before in these situations, right? Envy, I think, can find picks or get picked on early by Delena, so this is going to be scary now as well versus that Black Panther.
Oh, I'm excited to see this, though. Taking that height, and here we go. Dashing for days. Ooh, what a freeze! That was insane! Nero is different. That was disgusting. And they follow up, knocked up in the Yancey Street. Is the team going to be able to follow up Cal? Very strong here with these final judgments, but there's that meteor. And, oh, TTK, how does he do it? How does he always do that through those shields? TTK with a 2-piece. Delena gonna get 2 more. Oh my goodness. TTK is so good. Just taking height there, buying time. They burn through the shields. He waits it out perfectly. He knows when it ends, and it's almost frame perfect as both go down.
I mean, Month has to go for the copy to come back, even just to have a chance. They're gonna get stuffed to this choke. Now here comes that dance floor from Nero, it looks like.
Yeah, and here comes another fight. Crystal's already being pulled out as a good win there. Nero is going to use that alternate Month holding on. Now it's going to be match double dance floor. Terra is making the switch again, no longer playing the Panther after this. How disgusting that freeze could be. Delena going to try to take an off angle there and immediately bursted, and now is in trouble. Down goes Delena from Nero. Another strong pick there on the Luna. This team's got to try to figure it out here. It's getting a little dicey, a minute on. Great retake here by Envy. Terra is going to be playing that Bucky now, and there's a Kraken. It starts. I don't know if anyone was hit there. Yeah, shielded up. What a play there. Beautiful.
What a play by Kalush to block it, but I mean, they might lose people still regardless. I mean, greens are down. You have the dance floor. No Shredder's ultimate just yet on Envy's side. They're going to need something crazy from Cal on this flank.
Oh, this is a great idea. Try to get all as fast as possible. 80%. Not able to get much great positioning there by the side of Terra, who did not get hit. And now they're in the danger zone. It is very close. Meters away. 3 meters away. Up in the sky. TTK. Can he land this? Nice idea. Does not connect, but that could be enough as the portal has blocked things over. Actually, he said it's a portal on, but it's not going to be enough.
No!
Yeah, 100 Thieves take that through and end this first or second map 2-1.
Are you kidding me? He looked like he tried to touch Cart with the last stand as well. Grabbed everybody. It was 2 meters away. And I mean, what a cinematic way to do it too, unfortunately. I mean, just coming down with the last stand, slamming into that cart, shaking the entire screen. Well-deserved MVP from TTK, like you said, Shib. I mean, what a play. Just while they even shielded him, they even bubbled the guy. I think it was Cal right in the ult, but it didn't matter. I mean, everybody in the team hard focused it. And yeah, 15 final hits on a Magneto. This guy, I mean, he has a real shot at being the best Magneto in the game. I mean, there's a lot of good Magnetos in the world, so I don't want to discredit them, but every single time you talk about him, Shib, this man is gross.
You can't say it enough. 15 finals. I mean, look at this leaderboard. Look at all these stats, and then finding 15 on a Magneto with almost 30k damage, up there with the top in the game, right next to Terra on Magneto. Yeah, you might be saying, you know what's funny is as you're climbing ladder, a lot of people don't love Magneto. They think he's boring to play, but if you're patient with your shots and you treat him almost like a mage, right? These shots do a ton of damage if you're really patient with your right clicks too. There's that combo with left, right, left, and you can take out flyers instantaneously. It's all about patience, understanding. If you get value with your shield, remember your shield, every 100 damage it takes, that bubble you put on enemy or on friendlies, every 100 damage will actually charge your right click one of the 3 notches. So it does have 300. If it does get bursted, you immediately reset your right click fully. As you see TTK, even on this feed, as I'm saying that, get 2 picks with that right click. Clearly the bubble was popped during that fight, and oh man, finding so much value with this Meteor M.
Yeah, I thought that Envy had a very good ban phase, but to be honest with you, I just did not like that Ultron comp. It's just, unfortunately, I think sort of the phase of Ultron has sort of passed. I mean, unfortunately, I think Ultron can be good maybe in certain circumstances, but right now, I think when you switch to that Iron Fist, when you switch to characters that have percentage damage, it's very hard to really make that Ultron work. And you know, we heard how when Ryan Mazing talked about how you want to throw curveballs at teams, you know, that really is true. I think that, you know, he had a bunch of switches from Terra there. They're starting to get a little bit more loose, and I think that's good, right? You don't want to be rigid. You don't want to be stuck on your composition if it's losing. And sure, you don't want to blame your composition necessarily, but I think you have to be ready to switch at a moment's notice, considering, you know, not a lot of time in the bank, especially on Convoy, and especially against a team like 100 Thieves, who is as good as they are at figuring out, you know, poking, prodding, kind of doing whatever. And I think the biggest thing in Marvel Rivals the biggest reason why that is the case, Shib, is because you build ult so fast. So there's not really a big negative of switching, right? I mean, you get back to 50% when you switch characters if you're over 50%. So it doesn't seem like there's a massive negative to switching. It's just a matter of not being hard-headed and sticking to the same comps.
I think that's perfectly well put, and I think there's validity to that. Simply just think about the stream teams, right? Teams that are running more obscure compositions, they're winning because teams don't scrim against stuff like that. It's weird to go against it. You don't have the comms that's more of a set base. Like, you know what you're going into with Punisher every time. You know exactly what's going to happen, but you maybe don't know with an Iron Fist how to handle it. Although saw some good freezes, some good counterplay, it's still difficult, and you're like, what do I do into this? I don't understand. I gotta get more practice into this. And like we said, you see the stream teams doing well because of things like that. You see these teams, you see Sentinels doing well, changing things up, because it's just difficult to understand how to handle it, and that finds value.
And this is exciting. I think this bodes well for our grand finals. I think both 100 Thieves and Envy have to adapt, have to make changes. And if 100 Thieves were 2-3-0 Envy, we'll see. I mean, Envy's looking pretty good. They have a chance for sure. But if 100 Thieves are doing stuff, to be one of the most creative teams we've seen in North America.
Don't make Envy angry. I have seen them do some crazy things, so there is potential for the comeback, but we will find that out right after this break. "100 Thieves taking map 2. Is it going to be a sweep? I know Envy has said before they wanted to get to LAN, and they did that, but they did mention yesterday they think they have this thing, so it's all about coming back with the reverse sweep now.
Yeah, I mean, they have to, and I think they start with the ban phase for sure, but you have to be ready for 100 Thieves doing some wacky stuff, right? You have to adapt. I think sticking with that Ultron composition just did not pan out for them. We'll see what happens in the future. I mean, there's still a chance that maybe the map will be better for it and stuff. You know, I think that there's a potential for it, but I mean, regardless, not adapting, not changing is not ideal, right? It's just you need to make those last-second decisions. You need to kind of change on the fly because there's going to be counter swapping. Right now, we're entering the phase of Marvel Rivals esports where teams will counter swap even after the ban phase. There's so many things. There's a lot of variabilities variables rather that can impact your game, right? Besides the 4 characters that are banned. So you have to start thinking out the box, I think, if you're Team Envy.
Yeah, I'm with you. I mean, for those who don't know the way this map breakdown works, you start off in domination. It's a coin flip as to which map. Losing team then picks between Convoy and Convergence, and then from there the third map is going to be whatever's left, but they do get to pick side and map of that specific mode. So again, going to be in their favor if you're looking for Envy to come back here. So we will see how this looks as we progress forward, but I got to show some love. I didn't even see this in the stat line just simply because Delena switched to Strange there for the portal, but Delena 10 finals, they're really showing up. We talked about Delena maybe being a little overlooked because, I mean, you know, Terra is a talk of the town, quote unquote, for a lot of people, right? Delena on that hella 10 finals, 23k, good pointed damage, good flanks there.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Delena was a huge proponent of this team succeeding and getting signed by 100 Thieves when they were Team Mutants, so he needs to step up for sure if this team wants to succeed. I think a different variation for... They're going to go for the Emma ban again. Okay, they're going to go for the Emma ban. I mean, Emma, we know how strong Emma is, but I feel like a good change up for Envy would just be a Strategist bans, right? Because
I'm with you.
We already know 100 Thieves are a great team, but we haven't seen them play this triple Strategist comp too much, like with the Adam Warlock and stuff. So I mean, that change-up might not be a bad idea, right? But it's kind of too little too late. I mean, I don't think you can ban enough strategists with three bans.
I honestly agree with that 1000%. I think you kind of take advantage of how strong TTK is on some of these more, you know, projectile-based, slower Vanguards, and you go down the Emma. Obviously, a very strong Emma as well, but just, you know, taking out some of these duelists, some of these Vanguards, is an all right idea. But I just don't think it's worth removing Emma right now. I just don't think it's worth the ban.
Yeah. And now now we're going to the Punisher ban. I just think Envy's playing a little bit too straightforward. I mean, we'll see. I think their backline is super good. I think Month and Nero. I mean, for sure we saw Nero with that freeze in the last play. We've seen a lot of good force physics from Month on that Invisible Woman. So I think their backline is huge for this team. I think Envy has one of the best strategist backlines in the game. But now we get the Loki Protect. They're going for the Human Torch ban again. 100 Thieves don't even play Human. I'm actually getting pissed. They don't even play Human Torch. They literally don't, Shib. What are we doing in this ban phase, Envy? Like, please. I mean, if they win this map, that's crazy. That's good. Good for them. But like, damn, they suck at banning.
Yeah, I just don't like. I'm with you. I just think it's traditional. You're hitting the, you know what I mean? It's like what you see in ladder, right? It's just the consistent 4 or whatever it may be at the time, and just gonna keep going down that path. I just don't think this is affecting their comp. Obviously, the Wolverine ban makes sense, right? You can see the Punisher played both by Terra, but he does have far more in his kit as he's showcasing some other heroes that he's willing to play right now. I just don't think it does enough to them. These bans are really not affecting them the way they want them to.
I mean, we'll see if the Iron Fist impacts them on this map, because Envy's just running the same. Dude, I'm actually so I don't even want to talk anymore, Shib. Like, this is bad. We're just gonna see them play the same thing again, and they're just, I mean, maybe Envy's just ready to go fly. You know what I'm saying? Like, maybe they're ready they're done with the tournament. They're fine with the 25K. You know, maybe they're just ready to go to China or something. Like, I don't know, but like, they have a good shot still, even with this comp. It's how you play. It's not fully in the ban phase. But man, I am pissed. Like, I would be really pissed if I was an Envy fan, and I just like, I get triggered watching it. You know, it's like terrible.
Yeah, and if you're listening, try to prove Dog wrong. Use that as ammo. Yeah. Try to turn it around here. I mean, I'm with you. I do think, you know, definition of insanity, running the same thing over and over and expecting a different result is just not the way. So you know, I'd like to see something different, but maybe we're not there in the comms. So maybe I'm missing something, or the conversation of what they need to do to change things up. I do agree that I would have liked to see a change up there in the ban phase, but they could. We'll see what it looks like as we push here. It is a different mode, right? So there may be value, especially, and different map. There may be value in coming back here.
I mean, I love Gator. You know, I love Team Envy and their brains. I think they got some smart guys over there, and they can still win here for sure. They're still a good shot, but I don't know. I mean, like, I've been watching so much EMEA, so much of NA, that I feel like some of the best teams that have a read on the meta right now are teams like Team 100 Thieves, our Team Sentinels, and on the opposite side of the pond, I think EMEA, Burr has one of the best reads in this patch. So I really need to see some better reads out of Envy. They do put window over to that Venom. Maybe they're just going to set up dives with Speedily.
And it begins. It was funny there. You actually saw Vinny up on the spawn, hoping that somebody was going to be coming out of that spawn door a little late to try to find some value. Terra goes down instantaneously. Envy, that's a good start here with the damage boost, trying to push forward. Window going to be on that Venom as well. And there's that jump landing again. You saw there, he does have that dash for escape. A lot of the time you don't want to engage with Venom's web. Instead, you actually want to take height like that and then drop so you can use your web to escape. What a play. Kaluj onto TTK now. Window finds a second Speedery onto Delena, and that's an immediate point take, and they are trying to prove you wrong, brother.
Oh yeah, I mean, lesson number one with me, I mean, don't overreact when it comes to things in terms of the ban phase, but you know what, Terra's back over to that Iron Fist now regardless, and you know, this dive is definitely working a little bit better. They needed the Captain America, they needed this Venom to just set up Speedily, because that's their win condition, allowing Speedily to find these one-shots with Window. It's going to be hard now versus SJP with that Iron Fist team up. It's also more difficult in the Streets phase for triple strategists in general, but we'll see how it goes, right? Maybe they can find those opening picks with Window and Speedily.
Yeah, and they are heavily up an alt advantage here for Envy on this attack, so we got to see something happen quickly. But as I'm saying that, Vinny gonna find Kaluj off the rip and put numbers again back in their favor. That, oh, sorry, yeah, and Terra gonna find Nero, Speedily onto Harvey. Back and forth, here we go.
It took him out the sky in the middle of the Ultron's rage. They're still in this. They're still fighting it. But, I mean, if Terra's swinging on Iron Fist right now, I'd be scared after these ult end.
Yeah, very close to ult here, too. And they're just waiting. And it's just terrifying to be looking forward and to see these fists of fury coming at you. Spidery on the off angle, trying to find Delena. They're just dancing on natural cover. A thing we talk about a lot as you're climbing the ladder for those who maybe are trying to get better at the game. You'll see these pros constantly dancing off walls embedded in the game, not just cooldowns. Don't stand in the open. Use the natural cover as a shield. TTK finds one there. Down goes Cal. And there's that chase. Terra just flying with Iron Fist. Oh, I didn't know if he was going to make it. He does. What a play there. And that's what Fist does well.
Yeah, you're right, Shiv. I mean, Iron Fist so good at taking down flyers because he just sticks to you, right? He sticks to you like Silly Putty. I don't even think Silly Putty sticks, but, you know, regardless, like glue almost, right? He just kind of flies towards you, stays on your butt the whole time. It's tough. I think if Envy lose you to 1, 2, maybe 3 more fights, I'd like some different switches, but they're already going over to that Punisher, and they're already going to the Psylocke. I think this is a better comp for the street phase of this map. Triple Strategist doesn't really work necessarily here all the time, but 100 Thieves are now stuck on Iron Fist. This is that deviation, and this is variation that Envy needs.
Yeah, that was a smart decision. You talked about counter-swapping. This is a good example of that. Delena gonna find window early though, try to make that 2, but there's a good escape there. Spidery doing a good job. Terra gonna fall from collusion, likely gonna switch as well. Just to, you know, there's no one really to take out of the sky. I'm assuming we might see that, especially only being at 25% in the alt charge. Keeping the pressure forward again. We will see. Ooh, Vinny gonna take a fair amount of damage. Delena does have that dance of the butterfly. The Cutterfly gonna start making that play soon. Vinny gonna drive back. Remember that damage reduction. You'll see that is the big value of the thing there. Cal pressing forward with the last final judgment, excuse me, not able to get anyone just yet. Good dance floor, buying their time. You don't want to use it too early. Notice only when they were in dire need is that Q pop. You don't want to do it too early. You want as much time as possible, but that is a difficult decision to make because you don't want to lose anyone. Delena gonna keep the pressure on height. Good positioning there. The tackle onto the back line. Meteor Ever TTK do these miss. Oh, Cal, that was a sick zip line to take that height up on the right side. Terra gonna keep the pressure up, staying here on the Fist, and a dive in directly from window onto the back line. They are weak. Spidery gonna follow up. There goes 2 as TTK goes down. Spidery trying to make it 3, and that was close, but good dive play there and well coordinated by the side of Envy.
Yep, a retouch is coming, but Envy is saved onto this invisible boundary on Nero. So this is pretty well played from Envy. Here comes Terra with the ultimate just to stall it out, but they will be against a lot of healing from Nero.
Okay, and here we go. Window taking the height. Terra gonna keep punching 4 days. Blocked up. Gonna get that HP back. Remember, the more damage you take during that block, the more shield you get. Terra falls there from Kaluj. Good patience by the side of Envy to not feed that shield. And here comes the dance of the Cutterfly. Spidery onto Harvey. Delena onto Nero. Delena gets 2. Make that 3. And that's a good play. Will they be able to keep the presence on this point? Remember, you gotta kind of stay on here. I'm not quite sure who's holding for them. And there is. Ooh, 1. But TTK holds on. Terra does as well. Spidery gonna find Delena. Terra again now making the switch over to Hela and getting off that Iron Fist.
Well, and their 100 Thieves are playing so well as well, so intelligent because they're switching to characters that take advantage of this phase of the map, right? Because they were against the Ultron, you know, Iron Fist maybe not that good specifically on this phase of the map, but just against that composition. Now he switched to Hela on Terra in the streets phase when things are so long range. So he's gonna fly back to his team whenever he's dove on by Window. I think the dives are a little bit better from Envy. So as long as Window and Speedily kind of connect on this backline, it should be good. But this hard counter dive from Vinny on the thing has been so good. So we'll see how they react with Stratus Ultimates. Harvey got his little call to cancel at first point. We'll see if it happens again.
Okay, and the entirety of the team is back here. 57 seconds, 2 fights at most. If Strange is not banned, I got to double check bans here. There's the pressure. The bubble goes out as soon as we see that Judgment. The Judgment going to deal a ton of damage. Shields, very patient. Notice, again, the patience there of when to use those cooldowns. Gives you enough time to stay up. And that was just a beautiful dance. Spidery, though, on to Harvey. Kaluja to Terra. And here goes that dance. We see TTK fall. Spidery doing a ton of damage. And the backline following up. Cal on to Delena. And that could be enough here for point 2. Envy gonna clutch up even with a lot of ults on the side of 100 Thieves. Will they be able to keep the pressure? Yes, they do. Point 2 for Envy.
Yep, absolutely a lot better from Envy. I mean, they were just able to kind of continue with Cal's ultimate with the final judgment. Now we've run a 3rd phase of the map, and I don't feel like Envy's chances are too bad here. I mean, the combination of Window diving, I know he probably doesn't play a lot of Captain America. That's why he likes the Venom a little bit more than most Vanguards. But I think that tandem, allowing your Psylocke to pop off is huge. We've seen that a lot in this patch. You know, enabling your Psylocke player to go insane is massive, especially one as good as Speedily.
Could not agree more. All advantage here for 100 Thieves in this next fight, but TTK goes down early. We found multiple times now 100 Thieves maybe being a little too patient with these ultimates and losing the fight. Envy is going to pop out month window. There's a damage boost combination, but oh, SJP goes down, and that was beautiful. You'll see there, using that Feast of the Abyss with the damage boost from Luna is enough to take out a backline. Beautiful play there, keeping the pressure forward again. Envy is on their high horse, and they're just sprinting forward. Can they keep this going and winning all these fights? Even being down ults again, they will have one here from Nero. They will have that invisible boundary, but we do have a clobbering time and a meteor rem for this side of 100 Thieves. And you know TTK with these meteors simply does not miss unless Cal hits a beautiful zipline. What a shot there from TTK.
I mean, that's just great in the neutral. This is what we've seen again from 100 Thieves, that they can just kind of find those picks before ults even come out. I mean, Cal's gonna now have to walk back to spawn. Here comes that meteor rem from TTK.
Bang, it goes down. Not able to find much, but the neutral pick was already there. Speedery out of Delena. That's a good pick here for the side of Envy. Another meteor M, but this time for Kaluj. Looking back. Oh, tries to find the dance floor. Unfortunately, does not. Terra back on that Iron Fist. Really liking the fist today. Getting a ton of value out of these Vanguards. Just percent HP damage. Vinny finds Kaluj. Cal now going to be popping this all. Do you see the judgment? Oh, and we see a counter ult. Taking a ton of damage, getting a ton of overshield. Cal finds Delena. Nice shots there. Really good patience, good movement, and great tracking. Vinny now going to walk in, going to use that damage reduction on the back line before heading out. Why not? Might as well. Help protect against those shots. Terra holding on to the point, essentially just doing a dance here back and forth. And now going to find the back line, or excuse me, the dive here, and it does land as Speedery goes down.
Yeah, that's a huge pick. I mean, Speedery's been so impactful. Ultimate's also up for him, too, so that's brutal as everybody's kind of stunned in the backline due to Vinny coming through. Everybody now coming back into the dance floor towards this objective. Down one member. Pearls come through from Kaluj.
Every ult in the game popped here for Envy. Window going to find Harvey. Kaluj on a Terra. Window on a TTK. Beautiful here for the Venom, getting a ton of value on this map. And the butterfly goes out here for Delena, and they've got to make sure they stay on point. There is no one on now. Got to touch last second. Will they be able to? Yes, they do. Someone holding now. I have Agamotto, could be huge here. It is on to Vinny, who can't hold long. And is that going to be enough for the push in OT? It is, as they get all 3 points. Envy showing up when they need to.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, Caster was wrong. Absolutely dumb by me to freak out in the ban phase, crash out. I mean, disgusting work from a professional caster. I'm going to type up a 50-paragraph essay about how he's so wrong. But actually, that was really well. I mean, this is kind of the counterpoint to what I was saying from Envy, is that, you know, realistically, when you just come together, you play different heroes, right? You go on these hard dives. I think with your Psylocke, we've seen success in other regions with that, right? In previous games, we just seen that kind of come through with Window on the Venom instead of on other characters. I think this is a lot better, right? Captain America, maybe not his hero of choice. I know it's not even banned, but you know, usually we see the Captain America dives come through with the Psylocke. You could do the Venom as well. I think the Venom is a little bit easier to play, considering, I think, like we said, before Envy got picked up on this roster, before they picked up Window to this roster, he was also like that Magneto, Doctor Strange. He plays a lot of those same heroes as Kaluj, so he's had to pick up this brand new Vanguard role, sort of like that flex dive Vanguard role, and it's been difficult for him. So I think playing that Venom, getting that hard dive with Speedily to set him up has been huge. I think he is a huge reason why Envy's as good as they are. Yesterday, Envy's match versus Shroud X, he on the Venom as well was amazing. One of the best Venoms we've seen. Window had like 3 ultimates in one fight, so this man is amazing on that character, and I definitely shouldn't doubt Team Envy as they've made some changes, and that's huge going forward.
Well, having your back too. I mean, you were mostly dogging on the composition, which was changed completely. So I wouldn't beat yourself up too much. It was the right call. They used it for a point and they switched off and found value with another composition. But I do think that you're right. I do think this change was huge, and I do think that Window with the dive from Speedery is insane, because when you pop up enemies with things like Venom, they're no longer able to juke like they want to. It's much more readable to track with Psylocke. So well played there, and they do follow up on almost every single pop-up, allowing Window to keep that damage up with Venom and just allow that right click to pop on everyone that is getting dove on.
The change by 100 Thieves also pretty solid. I mean, putting Vinny on that Captain America, Terra now onto the Bucky, so they're going to be really targeting Window right now as he goes for these dives. He's going to have to be careful to make sure he gets full use out of HP and getting healed.
We're seeing this a lot with the teleport play and then the return to base and switch over. Terra finds Cal early, and that's a good start here for 100 Thieves, who want to try to have as much time as possible. Terra make that 2 as Window goes down on this height here, constantly using abilities, getting that over health, holding on, treating yourself like a tank, and beating up the front line again. Terra very low down goes Kaluj. Nero falls falls from Delena, and only one remains. And here comes the portal back. Just waiting. They'll hold on for a second. You'll wait until your team has a chance at rezzing, until you need to portal, and then you'll come in Delena. Gotta find Speedery, but way to hold on and wait there. And that is a good stagger. You will be up in numbers guaranteed. Kraken impact lands, but it doesn't find anyone. It might have been through the portal, I believe, which is not a horrible. I didn't even think that was the play, but they came out the other side. So it was tricky for them as I didn't see anyone get affected there. Terra gonna keep the pressure on, but already at, are you kidding me? 61% already?
Goes down though. But he went down. I mean, he just got melted even through Shredder's ultimates. XJP just a little bit too late. Harvey as well. Here comes the Agamotto. It catches out the backline, but the bubble. Vinny trades back Month.
Oh, and here comes the Meteor, but waiting that shield out. Oh, good idea by TTK to throw it around. And Delena gets 2. Will they be able to clean it up? Make that 3. Delena on a rampage here with the Psylocke. Well played, and they do get point 1.
This is the reason why we talk about Captain America Venom dives being so crucial for Psylocke. In this patch, it's been very important on Psylocke to have somebody to go with, right? You could play counter dive as much as you want, right? Vinny on the Thing, TDK on Magneto and some of those characters. It didn't really help Delena out. He needs somebody to dive with. He needs to kind of go aggressive to find this backline of Invisible Woman and Luna Snow, because you've targeted that Loki. That is no longer available for Envy. So because of that, you need to set up these dives hard and allow Delena that space.
And here we go with the next set of fights. Alt advantage here for Envy on the defense. They will have the invisible boundary and the dance of the butterfly. Gonna keep that pressure up, and they're holding height here. Look at that positioning there by Window. If you're a Venom player, that is the spot to hold. It cannot be broken. You always have a free dive, and it's very difficult to see the top of your head. And there's that dive. Window right onto Harvey. Harvey gonna hold on. Great bubble there from the side of TTK to keep the team healthy. Gonna retreat now, but Terra finds one, and down goes Cal. Terra finding a ton of picks in the neutral. Here comes the Kraken impact. Will we see some play? Gets knocked back by the right click. Well done there from the side of Magneto. Kalush trying to turn this back. The Meteor from downtown does not find value. Good idea there as Vinny keeps the pressure on the front line again, using that Cap's freedom charge to keep the team healthy as they walk forward. And the point already very close to point 2.
I mean, Window doesn't have ultimate, and he's getting deleted. And Nero comes back through, does have his ult, but now after this is going to be Dance of the Butterflies. There's going to be nothing to counter it. And also TTK's coming through and also connects on a Month.
That is a good pick. TTK on a Month now. We do see Dance of Butterflies out. We do see the dance floor. Who gets the more value? TTK on a Month. SJP on a Kalush. And 100 Thieves are keeping the pressure. Delena on the Cal now with a 2-piece. Do I see 3? Up goes Window. He falls. Down he goes again. Delena with a 3-piece. So well played. Has been popping off in this series.
I think unfortunately for Window, I mean, I think Captain America's better, okay? He's going to switch on over. It's just because, unfortunately, Captain America can stay in these fights longer, right? Venom relying those cooldowns is a bit more easy to hit as well. There's a lot of variables resulting in Venom taking a lot of damage, feeding ult charge, right? The shield doesn't do that as well. So I think the switch to Captain America is good. I wonder his comfortability levels on this hero. I know he's probably pretty solid at it, but he's definitely a lot better on the Venom, and that's why he was liking that character. It can work, but right now we can see why Captain America, I think, is so strong, even if maybe your Cap player is not as strong as the other one.
Yeah, I think the key is the dive with the Psylocke, just bopping up enemies and giving your Psylocke free reign to deal damage is kind of the combo wombo we've been saying. You can do it with Cap. You can also do it with Venom, as we see Cal gonna find Harvey there. That's a good neutral pick as they are up in ult still. Vinny gonna have that freedom, but Cal gonna find TTK again. A great shot here. Cal, a mean hit scan player, not able to play a ton of this side of Hela. Honestly, yesterday he struggled a little bit on Hela, found a ton of success on Punisher. I believe Punisher was banned out now, so we will see this Hela pop. And we do have the ult for both Month and Cal up by 1 ultimate here. TTK is going to be very close, and same with Harvey. Oh, and SJP.
And Cal is a huge confidence player. This guy definitely needs to feel confident about himself, about the game. He said he wasn't playing good in the previous week, but now he's just getting that confidence from a few games ago. It's very easy to sometimes feel like you're not good enough for your team, but Cal definitely is and can be that star player to match Terra on the other side.
And Speedery finds Delena. That's a good pick here again for the side of Envy. Up and there goes that Goddess of Death. Raining, but not enough. Stay inside that Dagger Storm. Keep yourself healthy. If you are a Vanguard and you see that Dagger Storm, please play inside of it. It will give your cloak the ult charge like no one's business. And here we go. We initiate with the bond. TTK finds Cal, and that's a huge pick off the rip. Vinny gonna keep that pressure, using a second ultimate here to keep moving forward. The freedom charge, not 100% sure if necessary, but maybe worth it right now. Up again. In the sky, we see Terra raining on Hela. The Goddess of Death does almost find one very low. Harvey gonna clean that up as Speedery goes down. Make that 2 as Window falls. So Lena gets a 2-piece, and Terra cleans up the 4th as Kalush goes down. And now they're walking with only, oh wow, they've got like 40 meters left. They got to keep this thing going.
Yeah, absolutely. And they have no ults, right? Out of ultimates. Vinny's going to have to build this freedom charge. If he doesn't, Speedly's going to have a free ult, except for Harvey on that Loki. Those crystals could save his entire team, so watch for that. That Harvey crystal needs to be perfect. Here comes the Dance of Butterflies, potentially saved by his Loki. Everybody's healed each other. They actually use the Dagger Storm, like you said, and save onto that cooldown. Huge plays from them, but Harvey falls so low.
Yeah, Month gonna take out Delena there. Good pick early there. Again, Cal onto Vinny, coming right back in with a vengeance. 1 minute 30 on. That is a few fights, so you don't need to panic too much. Just try to get those all charged back quickly. Vinny going to be there with all TTK 55. Harvey very close to, but these picks are nasty. Cal again, window on Terra, and they are cleaning house right now, up in all charge and very close. They're gonna have to build quickly here to try to even out 100 Thieves, who are gonna have a ton in this next fight.
Yeah, staggers coming out. Delena, though, found window. It was a little bit too much of a stagger there, but regardless, I think what happened was Harvey used his greens early, using those crystals too early at the end of the last fight, so they know that cooldown was up. So I think they had to hard play around their cloak and dagger with the Dagger Storm, and unfortunately it wasn't enough. Too much pressure came through from the Dance of the Butterflies. Well timed from Speedily, good read from them to go super hyper aggressive with that Dance of the Butterflies. Now we have ults now up again for both sides.
I'm with you. That aggression was huge because it does give them that alt charge they need with those staggers just to try to even things out with 100 Thieves in this next fight. We are going to have almost 6 here for the side of 100 Thieves. Very close now for Envy, almost doing the same. So well played as Cal again finding Terra. Cal really showcasing the power of Hela once more, who is coming much more prevalent today. Up in the sky we go with TTK, who is a demon. Down goes Speedery. Nice pick there from TTK. Not able to stop the dance floor, probably was the thought, but very quick, very difficult. SJP up with the bubble, not able to land that meteor. I believe it was Pop Kaluge still holding on to the point right now, and the Eternal Bond's out. We're seeing Qs pop from virtually everyone. Window holding on Vinny and Delena. Delena just waiting things out. Psych, I lied. Here comes the Dance of the Butterfly. Down goes Speedery. Terra onto Cal. Will this be enough to push them through? Vinny onto Kaluge. Numbers heavily here in the favor of 100 Thieves as they keep the pressure on and try to get these guys off the point.
Yeah, they're stalling. They're trying to do so much to allow Speedily to come back with the ultimate. I mean, no support ults on the other side, no Stratus ults. Window goes down, but there's going to be nothing here. Do they play in that Dagger Storm? Do they play in the greens right now? Because Speedily can kind of close it out for this team, for Team Envy in overtime.
Oh, we're in an OT situation. Next fight wins. All about these successful ults. Now Terra has the Strange Eye of Agamotto. Will it land? Will we see some souls? That's a pretty good spot to use it over in that corner onto the back line, but you got to make sure people are on point. Speedery pops out. Here comes the eye, and it does find one. Will they be able to collapse on? They do, but great shield timing by Window to stay up and healthy. Vinny with a nice pick there. We see Cal get 2, Terra gets 3. Oh, make that 4, and they do get the point and push this to OT.
Holy crap, are you kidding me? That was so intense, back and forth. Envy gonna be tied up 1-1 minute-wise on the clock. We head back to the attack of Team Envy. And that was almost so good from Cal. I mean, he found those picks somehow onto SJP, and I think another backline of 100 Thieves. So almost well done there by Cal, and I think he's also beating Terra in that duel right now. Terra, I think on Hela has been something of an evolution for him to play onto that Hela role, considering that was usually Delena. But Terra, definitely a great hit scan player in his own right, super flexible. That is the strength of Terra for sure over most players in the entire world. But for the side of Team Envy, you know, Speedily, Dance of the Butterflies, he kind of had to do it. Got poked out early, was also the kind of in charge of touching the objective, so a little bit of, I don't know, miscommunication, but sort of mispriority of objectives. They needed to force out those greens early, get the Dance of the Butterflies afterwards, because there was nothing else in the bank, unfortunately, for Team Envy. But now we're going over to the attack of Envy, and they could snowball it again. This first point, though, I actually do feel like this Ultron comp, this is the strength of it here. First point, triple is incredibly strong, whether it be triple with Adam, whether it be triple Stratus with the Ultron. I think this comp can be really good here, as you need to sustain. There's also not a lot of cover on attack or defense, so because of that, you can take advantage of the healing provided from your team. Also, the unexpected ability to play these heroes against the 100 Thieves, who are going to be on that Psylocke, on that onto that Bucky instead of Terra on the Iron Fist, which for them countered it before.
I'm with you. I do think the follow-up there by Nero on the Ultron is huge, because when you go in with the window, you pop them up, you have Speedery dealing damage, and then Ultron just needs to land a single damage boosted shot, and there's no doubt that that person goes down, gets KO'd. You see him on the feed. So really cool composition, unique for sure. Stuff like this, I love seeing changes up. Still, at this level of play, finding new ways to play together is awesome. Delena just playing the chase game, though. You gotta run, bud, and he does escape. Great tracking there from the side of Delena, who is really showcasing the power of their play today. Delena's playing so so strong. And yeah, you're right. Terra is taking that, you know, that Hella over from Delena, and Delena just switching over to that Psylocke. Goes to show how versatile this team is. Nero gonna take this space now up in the height. Gonna keep the pressure on. 64% already is crazy. Ultron gets all charged so quick, and they are taking this space quickly. Terra trying to slow up the pace here. Does have that pull and the slow there. Not able to land either, but consistently using those abilities to get HP. Delena gonna drop back. Good utilization there of the invis, and now the re-engage teams are scared. 4 seconds. You better touch here. 3, 2, and there we go. Onto the point. You need to touch within 3 seconds for those who don't know, and then it goes to OT. So just keep that in mind as you play, as you climb. Nero gonna keep the pressure on, and Ultron's rage is out. Here goes the dance onto the back line. Support dance as JP finds one. Delena onto Nero. Terra 1. Do I see more? Make that 2. Will there be 3? Bang! 4. Come on now. This is different. Terra gonna clean up the rest, and that will hold them on point 1 without a tick.
Are you kidding me, Terra? What an unbelievable end to that map, onto that defense. Envy, they tried to do with Ultron's rage. Maybe felt enough confidence in the healing through that ultimate, but we know that so many people talk about how Ultron's ult can't really be used all that defensively. It's difficult for that ultimate, you know, over ults like Luna Snow Dance Floor, over ults like Captain America Freedom Charge. There's so many of these ults that are really good at keeping their team alive. Unfortunately, far too much damage coming through from Delena and Terra. That combination, that tandem between these two is the reason why 100 Thieves are so good. Delena and Terra have been together for so long as a duo, and you can see exactly why there. Envy, now what do they do, Shib? Over to defense. Is it the same thing, or do you have to mix it up? I mean, they could rely on Cal on the Hella like they did before. Window onto the Venom. I like it, but unfortunately, I think the Captain America is a bit more team-oriented right now.
Yeah, good call.
Honestly, favor that.
Yeah, no, that was genius. I mean, you saw that switch literally as you're saying it. Caster goat, not gonna lie, that was a great call. It does give them more sustain there, and that's definitely what they're looking for. But wow, I mean, momentum seems to be shifted, but I'm curious what you're thinking. I don't know what needs to be done. It's all about these neutrals. Cal is finding a lot of picks early. You see, look at these, you know, final hits on the whole opposition of Envy. They look so clean across the board. Everyone doing their part, and it's just, you know, and then you look at 100 Thieves very much playing around those duelists. Obviously, very strong across the board in terms of every position, but goes to show you how Terra and Delena are playing right now. 18 and 19 finals. Speedery at 16, very close behind. But this is a momentum issue, and will they? Ooh, a portal counterplay potentially. They're not going to do it. Instead, they're going to try to kidnap somebody, potentially.
Yeah, it's always an option. And also, by the way, not to jinx it, but we definitely, he's just scouting, I guess, for a little bit. We definitely saw in Asia a draw, right? So anything's possible. A draw can still happen. 45 seconds left to go. I know, you know, we always want long series, at least as viewers. So we'll see what that happens. Again, Vinny as well over to that group, knowing they don't have Wolverine. That's so smart. Oh, no!
Speedery with a pick early. That's huge for Envy, and that's what I'm talking about. That needs to happen here. They will have a teleport for 100 Thieves if they want to reset completely. So that might come through as they're going to need to with 20 seconds on potentially. Yes, I do think we'll have to see that unless they want to just collapse together. That could very well happen as well, but there is 15 on now. You've got to touch in 12, and here we go with 100 Thieves. Now going to retake the space. Good drop back. You don't want to stagger, and you don't want to fight without 6, especially in a one-fight situation. 6 seconds. They've got to touch now. Who gets this done? And they do touch Terra at the end there. Harvey goes down now from window in the off angle. This could be a tie as we do see the Eternal Bond pop. Will they be able to keep the pressure on? Terra, oh, does get the grab there, but a beautiful disguise, beautiful jump there. Nero going to take out Vinny, and this is looking in Envy's favor. Speedery out of TTK. Out goes the eye on Kalush. Not able to find anyone, but they're not going to hold for long as we do see the dance of the butterfly, and that is a difficult situation. The teleport comes through from Harvey now. They are going to switch up roles, but Harvey gets deleted, and oh my goodness, we have a tie.
First tie I've seen in North America. First tie on this side of the pond for sure. It's amazing that we get a tie after all of that. It's for naught for both teams, but that means we go to another map. That means we're going to domination next. Draw, baby. I mean, nobody likes to see that. It's brutal to see for sure after such a hard-fought battle, but awesome for us, I think, as fans to watch. So, I mean, what a back and forth. I think the idea, those dives coming through from window, I mean, those were syncing up a lot better, right? We talked about how in other regions, the reason why these Psylocks pop off is not just the Psylocks. It's also window on that Captain America. It's also a lot of these divers on the Captain America. So a lot better out of them. I think the the comp switches were better as well. And now that we go to domination, I think it's anybody's game. Envy, I'm not going to say they struggle on domination, but it's a bit tougher for them. I think they're going to have to make those last second decisions very, very quickly this time, because right now they're doing good, I think, just making those swaps, right? So I like the idea out of the side of 100 Thieves, the group swap, the fact they don't play that Wolverine. I think all of those things could enable you a little bit better. But unfortunately, Harvey just got dove on too quickly. And I don't know if that's whether due to ping or something like that too, because I know Harvey is on ping playing from the UK, I believe, right? Oh no, he's at the boot camp. I forgot today. So never mind. Ping is not an excuse for Harvey. Unfortunately, I'm looking for some sort of cop out for my boy, but unfortunately, he was the target every time of these dives. Needs the green a little bit sooner, needs to use those crystals a little bit sooner, or play in the dagger storm. A few of those things can enable them a little bit more, but that dive from Speedily and Window is so hard to react to for sure.
Yeah, Harvey's an absolutely disgusting Loki, but honestly, I feel like it's likely out of practice just because Loki's banned so frequently. I doubt he's been practicing a lot. Like, a lot of these teams aren't practicing much Emma, maybe a little bit of Mag, simply because there's just no reason to really play them. So if you put all their time in them, because they're going to be banned out, you maybe don't do it. So I know Harvey's been finding a ton of success with a bunch of different stuff, but now having to force to run that Loki maybe just isn't working as well for them right now. A ton of damage still though, but yeah, I mean, I'm with you. I think they did a great job on the side of Envy of switching up composition and getting value, and they just kept switching to what was going to work for them. And this is what they found success with yesterday, just changing up compositions until it's working, and then don't worry until it stops working again, and then switch again.
Yeah, we heard when Ryan Amazing was in the comment, I know I referenced that one a lot, but it feels like, you know, you have to make these sort of changes last minute, even if you haven't practiced them much. I mean, we saw Cal in his interview talked about how he didn't play Magneto before that match, and you know, sometimes you just have to make those things on the fly. You have to do it because whether the circumstance calls for it, right? And that's what we're seeing in this game right now, is the ability to just switch is so crucial. Taking a look back at the stats, I mean, Harvey, Nero, what a battle it's been between two top tier strategist players. Nero's sort of getting the better of it, and I think this is honestly a true fact, is that I think Envy's backline is so good in Team Envy. We know how good Nero is, we know how good Month are, and I can say the same thing about SJP and Harvey. I just feel like for Envy right now, their backline is playing so strong against the dive from Delena and Vinny. So right now we'll see how 100 Thieves react in the future maps, especially on domination. It does not get easier. That's why listen, Shib, I used to play strategist professionally for like 6 years. I would never want to play strategist in this game. Okay, I'll be honest with you. Like, that's the reason I switched full time to Hela, Psylocke, whatever. I can win above all on those heroes. I don't know about strategists, because like those guys are literally elite. Like, it is the most hard job in the game in terms of, I mean, you could say mechanically maybe not as much, but in terms of what you're asked to do, saving your team, healing your team up at all times, not dying to dives, it's very, very difficult. And I don't think anybody, at least at a casual level, understands how difficult it is to play strategist in the pro scene.
Yeah, there's so much pressure on strategists. It's such an underappreciated role too. So shout out to all strategists. I gotta show you love. I mean, you know, people will give you crap about dive, say dive maybe isn't as good, but in a team situation like this with a practice team, dive is incredibly strong. It is something you need to keep in mind. So as a strategist, not only do you have to burn all your cooldowns, but you have to know that right as soon as your cooldowns are burned, somebody's coming for you. So you got to dance, you got to do the strat dance, you got to heal each other, you got to be ready to press that Q button. But if you use it selfishly to keep yourself up, that's already negative value. There's just so much pressure on the back line. And I do think you're right. Month and Nero have looked so good. And I just think it's a lot of it is because they're playing a little more aggressive strategist. That, you know, they're not afraid to go up with that Ultron, which, you know, it has success on certain points. They did switch off there, obviously, only able to use it on the first point, which I think makes sense on that map. But they're just doing a great job. I think Luna is another one of those strats that has the ability to freeze and deal a ton of damage, so it's more risky to dive the Luna.
Absolutely. I mean, there's so many things, there's so many variables for sure, including that, like you mentioned. So it's hard to play this game at a high level, at the pro level, and I don't envy the job that is all the pro players having to switch compositions so frequently as well, and you know, get good at certain heroes. Considering I feel like in hero shooters it's difficult to, you know, get at the top level of the game at multiple heroes. So we'll see what happens now moving forward, as that was our first draw in North America. Map number 4 coming up in just a second, Chip, after the short break.
Welcome back. The first tie in America's region. You said there was another one earlier. That's crazy, but hey, they're pushed to another game. 100 Thieves are not gonna get the dub yet. Envy looking to turn this around.
Yeah, I feel like I've been losing my mind the further the day goes on. I mean, yeah, like you said, in Asia, tie over there. I mean, Ship, how do we cope with what the hell's going on in the esports scene of Marvel Rivals, man?
It's been intense, especially in this region. Teams are so close. We said that all the time. Don't want to beat, beat a dead horse or whatever the hell the statement is at this point. But dude, look at the wall behind. He has me cracking up. By the way, it's so funny. But honestly, it's just like these teams are so close. It's any given day. I think Envy can do. They can get the job done there. You look at their stat line: 18 finals for Speedery, 14 for Cal, 13 Window, 11 Cluj. All of them with a ton of value. And then 100 Thieves, 19 finals for Delena, 18 for Terra, then it's 8-8 for Vinny and TTK, and then Harvey, obviously Stratline 2, SJP 3, even a little less than the opposition. The whole team of Envy looked much better, especially honestly, that entire map, just not on defense as much.
Oh yeah, I mean it's getting so intense right now. As 70K still on the line for either of these teams wanting first place. They've already qualified for China, but at this point it doesn't matter, right? They're focusing on the main objective, and that's winning. So we'll see what the adaptations are on the next map. I don't mind the Wolverine ban and stuff like that. I don't mind some of those changes. I don't think they're going to change away from their ban system, honestly, at this point. I mean, they're just so used to it at just going after the same bans, which is totally fine. I think while I think I do agree with the game can be won or lost as a ban phase. To push back on it a little bit, you still have to play the game well. You still have so many characters to make adaptations with, right? Even if it's suboptimal, like we saw with Terra onto Iron Fist, I'm sure he'd rather play something like the Wolverine against that. But sometimes you have to make those sacrifices to play a character that's maybe suboptimal.
Yeah, I mean, because it counters something into something that you maybe struggle with, and we saw them make it. We saw Terra making a big problem there for Nero up in the sky, just not able to get a ton of value with Ultron. Immediately had to switch off, and then Terra then did the same once that wasn't finding value anymore. These teams are now starting to learn what's working against certain heroes that they're struggling with, and they're able to shut that right down before they get destroyed by it.
Yeah, for sure. And just to ease it up a little bit, his air's a little tight, as this match goes on, because it's so intense, right? I mean, I can see your bow tie. Hopefully you don't choke yourself out there, Shiv. I know is it clip on or is it? No, it's too late. You've already been choking this whole time.
We can pretend it's not a clip on, but
okay, good. Yeah, I was like, if you choke out right now, you look a lot like Shroud X, so I don't really want that to happen on broadcast. Unfortunately, that could happen. I love those guys over Shroud X. Sorry, that was a bit mean. Low blow for sure after a team that really played well. Honestly, by the way, just want to shout them out real quick. I mean, Shroud X played so well to even get top 4. That's like just impressive in itself. But like I said, we got to ease it up the tension a little bit. I mean, maybe I don't know if we have footage of it. Obviously, it's so probably buried and stuff in the footage of EMEA. There's I was talking to you, Shib. I wanted to get your take on this as we wait for the teams to pick the map and stuff. I'm sure they're deciding what there is, but I know I brought to you about the mewing stuff, Shib. Have you had the opportunity to find out what that is? Right, I know that it's awkward to bring this up, but what's up?
No. So what's the statement about it? I know what it is. You're saying like
it's these Zoomers, bro. It's these like modern day esport players, dude. They're just doing these crazy things. Like it's not even that interesting. It's just literally like in their camera, like they'll like get an elimination or something. And Jerky, for example, in EMEA will go like, like go point at his jawline and stuff, because
there's
this guy called Dr. Mew that like he chews bubblegum and does you have to put your tongue at the top of your thing or whatever. I don't know. I'm too old for this stuff, but like regardless, you're doing it, you're doing it. Yeah.
I don't want to do it. I'm gonna get clipped.
Yeah, you're the TikTok guy over here, Shib. You gotta embrace the cringe, buddy. I'm sorry to say, it's important.
Yeah, we're streamers, man. We do. But honestly, that's so funny. I would love to see more of that in NA. Stuff like that after big plays would be so funny. I mean, we saw a little bit yesterday. Shroud X, like when big plays happened, they would be leaning back in their chair and shit. That was so funny. But
Dogman and stuff. Yeah,
that was so funny. But
he was freaking out, man. I mean, it makes it. They almost did it. They almost beat Envy, bro. That was so close.
Yeah, that was so close. But looking here, man, look at this 2-0 tied, nothing on the board, no -0, nothing, just didn't even count. So I guess that and this is something I need to get some word on production. I think that who chooses the next map, I'm assuming it would stay with Envy.
It's probably the same. Yeah, it's the same that loses.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that would be. Yeah, losing position. Producer Michael, shout out EFG for telling us that behind the scenes. But for sure, yeah. I mean, it would be kind of honestly a little bit bullcrap if the winning team gets it again. That'd be crazy. Imagine it's like you draw on a map and you just lost on the previous one. You're like, oh yeah, by the way, now the winning team.
Yeah.
Flip a coin. Hey, maybe roll a dice. D1000. Who wins? 100 Thieves have 100, but not 1,000. I think that's
a little bit, man.
Yeah.
That's simple.
Human Torch. That's simple indeed. That's simple. Human Torch banned for 100 Thieves, Shib. I mean, they did this before. It feels like they're doing the same thing, banning out Speedly's hero pool, except that Psylocke.
Yeah, I think it's going to be consistent for 100 Thieves. I mean, they don't have a loss yet, so there's no real crazy strategy change they need. I do think They were, you know, it was anyone's game there in OT. That's just how it always is. It's all about that hype moments. They usually show up in those moments, but
you don't have to. You know what, Shib, you don't have to make a crazy move, but how would you feel about like a Psylocke ban? Because I feel like Storm is the only Envy is the only thing that plays that Storm. Like, how would you feel just going to the Psylocke? I know Speedly's really good at Storm, but I still feel like, I mean, they figured out the solution to Flyers. No, like they put Terra on Iron Fist. They go over to that dive comp with the Psylocke. That could be good.
Yeah, I'm with you. I do think that's not a horrible idea, right? It's changing pace a little bit. The question is, it's like, you know, I say this a lot, is if it ain't broke, don't fix it. They haven't lost yet, right? So it's like, do we need it yet? Yeah. But I do think if something does change for them, it's like, all right, we gotta eliminate that. Let's get in their heads a little bit. Let's start getting tricky with it. And like, that is the goal. Your goal ultimately is trying to force them onto a comp that they practice the least, right? That is what this ban phase is all about, because it definitely, games can be won and lost in this phase. Absolutely.
And I think the difficulty as well for teams' head coaches, or at least the person that decides the ban system, is getting the trust of your players, right? Because, I mean, when you do a different ban, that can for sure mess up. Like, maybe that's why Envy keeps doing the same bans every time, right? Because if you just give them the set, like, kind of focused bans and the same thing every single time, you can really do a good job at just like upsetting the other team, or at least, sorry, not upsetting the team, not upsetting your team, right? Your team wants familiarity. Your team wants to play against the same stuff every time, because that helps you play better, right? Consistency is key, I think, to improvement in this sort of environment. And that's why, you know, a lot of teams will run the same things over and over again. I think when we went to MRC, when we had these global bans, we saw a lot of mirror compositions, right? Because if you just play the same thing over and over again, composition-wise, you get better and better and better at that composition, at that hero, because each hero is just so hard to play and master, especially at a macro level when the sky is limitless, right? So that's why I think the parity has been so big this season as well, is because there's so many different sort of play styles you need to adapt to, so many heroes you need to play. So it feels nice for both teams, honestly, to not deviate the bans too much, because, you know, you get to play against the same stuff over and over again. You get to kind of figure things out a little bit easier, maybe.
Yeah, and you kind of touch on it, but it also speaks to the validity of all these different compositions and heroes. I think that's a good state of balance in the game. We've seen a ton of different stuff, man, and teams are willing to change it up and make unique plays and have unique compositions still at this stage in the tournament, and across regions seeing even more crazy things. So, you know, and just speaking on that, it gets me hyped up for LAN. I want to see some stuff that I never thought about. You talked about some of these unique, like, just double damage boost, no real healing comps that they just play ready com, dive comms, and go all in and not worrying about sustained fights and try to get picks every single time. Stuff like that. I can't wait to see how it plays against more traditional stuff.
Yeah, I mean, regions each have their own identity, right? I think over in EMEA, only today, I think we saw some Groot. Over here, I think we see a lot more Groot against non-Wolverine compositions. So I think there are small stylistic differences that really is going to matter at the international level when we do get to that LAN event coming up in China.
Okay, and we are going to start these fights now. Terra going to be back on Bucky. One of the few players that stay on Bucky very consistently. We will have Speedery on that Logan, who is very strong. We can't talk about Logan enough. What a pull immediately by Terra. Do I see a pick? No, great crystals. Great work there from the side of Month. Just ready for that action. Always hold a clone when you're playing Loki and be ready to pop that ability, because it's essentially a reset button. Great pull, but it was negated instantaneously. Well done, as we will see a forced reset here. Both teams going to drop back to Lena on a crazy off angle here, constantly keeping Cal back, who is going to stay on that Hela. And here goes the copy. Out we go now. Does it land? I thought I heard the copy. Yeah, it is out for Month. We do see that Dagger Storm. Team's going to fight inside of it. The pressure is now on point. Teams are going to walk out. Good retake. They drop back as a unit. They come back again. Oh, what a, out of the pull after the stun. And here comes the resets again and again. Everyone's low. Reset once more. Oh my goodness, make it 4. Do I see Terra on the 5-piece? Oh, and they're going to hold up what should have happened there, which I think Terra maybe is going to give his team a little bit of information about, as they wanted that clone for the reset. Buy a little more time to potentially come back, but they cleaned up that clone before his ult landed.
And I'm a little worried right now for Team Envy. I mean, they're going on to this competition to play around this Punisher super hard, which Punisher is really good, don't get me wrong, but I feel like, you know, enabling Speedily is their sort of route to success right now. Maybe through these hard dives, maybe through window on Captain America. I would like to see that again. They found some success earlier. 100 Thieves on the defense. I mean, the onus is on Envy to break through this point, and they don't really have a lot of dive comp to do it.
And up we go with the Meteor M, not able to get value. Good idea there. Speedery onto Delena though, and that's going to be back in Envy's favor. Now taking the space. Here goes Vinny with the Thing. Thing has been a little bit of a controversial topic between casters and just curiosity about the value. He does play well, and the damage reduction is very valuable, but just stat-wise, it doesn't show up. So that is, the stats don't mean anything in my opinion. Cal going to find Vinny, and that's a nice pick there again. And it looks like Envy are going to be able to get this point unless the teleport comes in here quickly. We'll see. TTK does get on. Nope, not able to touch. And that means Envy already has point one with 4 minutes on the clock.
Yeah, they just got carried by Speedily there again. I mean, Speedily able to take down Delena, does have that Luna Snowflake, right? That's sort of a big deal as well, considering they don't play that Luna Snow on 100 Thieves side. So getting that Snowflake allows Speedily to just kind of go in, take those duels with Delena, and Delena not expecting that. And this is what we're talking about, right? You need these Psylocke players to pop off for you. Speedily is that guy on Psylocke. I think that character has been crucial. On the opposite side for 100 Thieves, I think Terra as well with his ultimate. But here comes the last final judgment immediately by Cal.
Cal going to press forward and is going to try and value. Does pull out a bunch of abilities, but no ults in return. Cal still finding Vinny, though. Didn't see that pick. That was at the very last millisecond of that ability. Good shots there by Cal Delena. Great off-angle positioning here, forcing eyes in a different direction. That's what you want to do as a duelist. Does land there with a Kraken impact. Unfortunately, shielded out, so Terra not going to be able to reset. Wagamoto has potential. Is going to be matched by some strategist ultimates, which then get turned right back again up with the Meteor M. Does the meatball land? Good shield there. Way to stuff that from the side of Kaluj, who is an insane Doctor Strange player and is consistently showing up on the stat board. Delena gonna find Month and Nero. Terra gonna clean up window. Vinny on to Nero and Cal. Wow, as a team, they just use that damage there. They coordinate. They see that little burst damage coming from Delena, and they clean up the rest. The whole team gonna fall down, and it is going to have ult advantage, actually even in the next fight.
And I want to shout out Vinny. I think in that last fight did go down, but got eyes back. Right, Cal on that Punisher had to come back towards. Also, Cart wasn't pushing because he touched it, because Envy went back through main. So even though he went down in that fight, it got some cooldowns out of him. They had to come back through, sort of panic. Maybe that slight bit of deviation from the game plan resulted in 100 Thieves with a big advantage. And now in this fight, they have Stratus ultimates.
And here goes the punch from Terra. We do see all the abilities being popped window. Gonna force this all just due to the nature of being grabbed. It does not find value. Good idea. Speedery is gonna pop that Dance of the Butterfly. Just burn through Cap shield, and they are gonna have Harvey pulling out the bond, keeping the team healthy. Again, 100 Thieves doing a good job with patience here, dropping back Nero. Uses the dance floor. Terra trying to find this off angle, looking up, seeing where Speedery is. Here comes the dive. Playing great around that natural cover. Notice there, going over towards those walls, playing around those when you know there is eyes on you. Do not have to burn down cooldowns when you have a natural wall in front of you, and waiting that out, landing on a Cal, potentially shoving him right back in the door, but they will walk back and hold on. Oh, turned around, landed directly on. Will they find Speedery, who's trying to escape? Good idea, not able to land those shots, but what a chance at it. That would have been crazy. Terra gonna drop back with the team here, and the entirety of the team is gonna play around Vinny, who will have that freedom charge soon.
Yeah, this is how you know how good Terra is, when he's looking for Speedily all the time, marking him. Similar to what we saw to Sparker out of EU, rest in peace VP. I think that general playthrough, gameplay on Bucky is clean. It's super smart, right? Just constantly mark the Psylocke player, make sure they're uncomfortable, and right now Speedily just dives on in there, goes low, but does have the support from his own backline.
And this is what I was talking about initially. I do think there is a strategy for 100 Thieves if they need it, to not worry too much about Speedery and just have Terra mark, and instead try to ban out some of the, the people that may have less of a roster, just because, it may have more value. I'm not sure that it will. It's all going to be dependent on what they decide to do. Delena gonna find Month here. Again, 100 Thieves up in numbers so far. Out goes multitude of ults. Just kidding, as Cal, window Cal again, and Cal again with a 4-piece is gonna put the pressure back on, and 100 Thieves are in the danger zone, but Harvey gonna pop out that bond and just buy time. Try to get the point and wait, and that's a good, good utilization there. A lot of the time you don't want to burn all when you're down in numbers, but if it means that you hold on to point two, it is absolutely worth it, as Terra puts out more damage.
And I think a big change from 100 Thieves, it's a small change, but an important one, is what you talked about last map, Shib. SJP's over the Loki, Harvey's over that Cloak and Dagger. I think a little bit more comfortability for Harvey on that Cloak, and SJP has been doing so good on this Loki. This is the reason why I think 100 Thieves are a lot better in this map against Speedily.
And we will have ults up here for Envy, who have Nero and Speedery ready for action. There is going to be SJP and Terra to try to match that here, and we'll see who gets more value in this upcoming fight. Delena, again, on this off-angle Terra in the sky. Will it land? Kraken impact. Ooh, look for a clone. I think, no, it did land, but does get picked immediately after window. Great shots there to get that pick early. Up in numbers now, shoving them in. There will be no res by, there's no rocket or anything on the field right now. And TTK takes out Kaluj. Numbers up are even, actually, for both sides. We are seeing Q's pop for days. It's an OT now. You got to stay on point. And we will see who comes out on top. Delena on the off angle looking for Month. Month very weak. Good escape there by Delena, who was very close on that pick, but not able to get it done.
Well, after this ultimate, I mean, he'll be free, right? They use the greens. They also use the ultimate in the copy. So I think right now it's all on him. Here comes also in the high ground the cowl. But oh no, he gets deleted by Vinny and the Meteor M.
Oh, that was a great pick again by the double wombo combo. Out go Crystals, and now Delena is going to try to keep the Randy, but unfortunately, great work there from the side of Nero and Mom to just dance inside those crystals and stay healthy. But Terra on the Panther just going to start dashing. Will we see more? Did not land that dash. Is not going to have that reset. Good idea there. Trying to play on the back line and never leave their side so they can't look forward. Vinny going to try to collapse as well, and that's a great dive, and that's where that coordination comes into play. There goes two, but Window takes out Harvey. Is anyone on point? Yes. Terra goes down for Speedery. Collusion on a TTK, and that may be enough here for Envy to take point two. They do.
Yeah, right now, Window has been the best player in Envy. I think that Speedily is a great player, don't get me wrong, but I feel like 100 Thieves have an answer for him. The one person they don't have a massive answer for is Window. This man, we've seen him previously pop off on Venom, also on that Magneto. These are his two best characters for sure, and I think he's the reason why Envy's going to win if they cap out on this map, but they are against the 100 Thieves, who are doing a good job setting up everybody else. You saw that dive with Vinny, you saw with Delena. If Window can keep anchoring and kind of keep getting ignored, I feel like he's in a good spot as well on that Magneto, considering he's doing so much for his team right now.
You see Nero's positioning here. Great line of sight to be ready for the dive and head back towards Crystals. But as I'm saying that, the dive is different. Nero takes down Terra again. That is the second time in a row we've witnessed that from Nero. No freeze there, but just raw damage. And that was great positioning. And that was a fast dive too. Just shuts it right down. Not sure the Panther's getting a ton of value just yet, as Terra is going to switch off. And there will be ult advantage heavily for Envy, who are just riding this momentum.
Yep, the counter got too good. Met by the Fate of the Worlds. Also, Harvey, or SJP rather, with the copy, commits his Eternal Bond. So a lot of Stratus ultimates are going to be built up. We're going to see how it happens afterwards. TTK in the sky now with the Meteor M.
And here comes the Meteor, waiting that shield out. Tried to. Good idea. It gets returned right back. Will it land? Return to sender. Holding out that shield. Tried, but not able to land it there. Delena is going to have ult with Vinny. Harvey going to use that bond to take space. Actually, head back towards the back line of the attack, and there is Eye of Agamotto does get shielded up, but still TTK actually turning that around. Excuse me, Delena takes out Cal, and again 100 Thieves are now taking this space and owning it even through these crazy back and forth fights. Terra gonna walk in. Here comes the dance of the butterfly onto Delena. Good shield there to keep teams healthy. Still finds Delena. Vinny on a Nero, and they don't touch.
Yeah, I mean, there's just too well played, I think, by 100 Thieves. They kind of pressed off Envy on that main side. Huge Terra Cape, huge commit by the Eternal Bond. I feel like the strategist play of 100 Thieves has been so good. We saw it on the previous map, even though they lost on Hold the Jolly rather. There was everybody playing slow inside those dagger storms, right? Like you said, Jib. I think they're just playing hard around Harvey, playing hard around SJP, getting those strategist ultimates, allowing themselves at points to take damage as long as you're not going down. Just getting these small kind of micro changes where they're building up ult charge for the strategists and building them first. So right now, I think 100 Thieves maybe. I think Envy's backline is great, but at the moment they're having to deal so much with Delena's dives alongside Vinny that it's been tough, because on the other side for Envy, they don't have that aggression. They don't have Speedily set up with a diving character, because Window and Kaluge are playing Doctor Strange and Magneto. When all those characters are great individually, I think they're one of the best characters in this patch. We can see how much Vinny's doing on these dives, allowing Delena that space to find those opening picks. And look at Speedily's eliminations, 8 and 3, 4 final hits, and it's all himself doing that, right? He's matching Delena with the Luna Snowflake. You know, he's doing a lot of that stuff, but on the opposite side, you can just see Delena's so free. I mean, 16 and 5, he's able to play around the team a little bit more, 8 final hits as well. So I think that's the biggest reason. But in the side of Envy, they're just wanting to switch to that Cloak and Dagger as well to match that backline.
As we look at the Squirrel, little known fact is actually Squirrel Girl's room. It's a little tree house there. You will see some of her favorite things around there, including a board game as they press forward here. And I think that was well put, man. I do think, I mean, that kind of is a testament to how good Speedily is. Speedily is just dominating here by his lonesome on these dives. Cal, a very strong Hella, going to be holding that Hella. We do see Kaluge still on that Strange double shield comp inside of Envy. They are not going to like to do that here for 100 Thieves. We're going to use the haymakers to just punch right through those shields for Vinny. As we start up this next fight, Terra going to try to take this high. Good dive here onto Speedery. Not able to do so, and continuing to keep eyes on, just noting every single movement here by Speedery. Cal finds Harvey though, and that's a massive pick to start off this fight with a good headshot there on the high side angle. Delena going to try to find an off angle to keep pressure back onto the back line and even out the odds, but no, does not happen just yet. Going to retreat together and try to stack, letting that ult just fizzle out.
Yep, Month with the copy, that will be gone. Stratus ultimates will be in their advantage, but Cal, you called that he is the X factor factor for Team Envy. We know how good Window is. We know how good Speedily is. We know how good the backline is. Cal has been that guy in Hella before. Can he do it again? 100 Thieves, you would think they have the better comp because they have the thing against no Bucky. We'll see how it works out. Early engage coming from XJP.
And out goes the Kraken. I'm not sure it got a ton. Again, great positioning to drop back, but it doesn't matter. Down goes 2. Terra trying to make it 3. And yes, CTK cleans up the other 2 again. 100 Thieves playing like a unit. They're just walking right through. Perfect comms, holding on to ultimates, not overcommitting, and they will get this point.
And I'm gonna need somebody in chat to clip that. I think Nero's ultimate got canceled. So that was the only way back into that fight. And even then, they were still down Shredder's ultimates. Window maybe could have hit a huge meteor, but they did not have the survivability because Nero had his ult canceled. So that's brutal. Sometimes it is that like that on Shredder, and that's why I said don't envy any of these pro players because your ult matters so much in this game. It is the most important part of Shredder's kit, so it can feel really daunting to have the perfect ultimate, especially against such high damage compositions that 100 Thieves has.
So what do you think it was? Was the TTK right click into the standard shot from Terra?
Yeah, something happened like that. I don't know. But now into this fight, man, Delena's already found Nero early again.
Yeah, well, here we go. The next fight, Meteor M goes up. That does, oh, yeah, does land from Window onto Delena. Didn't even see Delena there. Thought it was going to be, oh, Terra onto Cal, though. Putting the numbers back in their favor. Up by 1. Keeping the pressure forward. They still have ults here. Terra onto Mons. Get inside that Dagger Storm. You see that play. Such a smart move. Oh, that's crazy. Terra finds the pull onto Speedery. For those who don't know, when you see Psylocke using that dance of the butterfly, if you look down on the floor, you'll see a little circle. That is where Psylocke will end, and that's where they'll be as soon as that ultimate ends. Make sure you're using your dash, make sure you're using your Emma grab on that circle, get used to the timing, and you will always be able to get value as you see Terra do there with that pull.
SGP has copied the match month into the side. Clobbering time also comes out. Here comes the meteor, but it's blocked in the sky. Terra still finishes it up though. Oh my goodness! With the Terra cape, deletes 2 off the face of the earth.
That's a 4-piece, almost 5. Wow, I mean, how consistent can you be with these Kraken impacts? And they're already pushing to point 3 with 5 on. Envy's got to stay here. They've got to figure this out. Yes, they're already on the land, but the prize money is on the line, heading their way to 70K. 100 Thieves wants this W.
And I feel like the idea to put Cal over the Punisher is good, but I feel like versus the Thing specifically, and maybe like the Hulk, maybe Bucky does a little bit more damage. Regardless, I think Punisher is definitely a counter to the Thing, and what 100 Thieves are doing with a super counter dive composition. We'll see if it pans out for them. They're gonna need to build those ultimates.
Yeah, it's just an Speedery falls off map there after taking out Terra. Yeah, used the dash, I believe, probably to clean up that KO, and then fell right off the map. That's kind of unfortunate as this is a final fight territory. Delena, Crystal's already out, and there goes another ult there, so that will work from Harvey. We do see the Agamotto get popped in from Kalush. Cal gonna clean up SJP, and that's a good pick here to slow up 100 Thieves, so they will even the odds here, and they are trying to stall. Out goes the dance of the butterfly. Vinny onto Nero, TTK on a Munt, Delena on a Speedery, Delena again onto Cal, Kalush on a Harvey, Terra now on the Panther on a Kalush, and will that be enough to win this fight? Vinny on a Widow, that could be it. We'll find out shortly as they try to get back here. I don't know they can, and that is an incredibly well done job by 100 Thieves.
Whew, what a game, and they do it. They get it done. They're going to the grand finals versus Sentinels. Envy going to be your 3rd seed out of North America, and well-deserved by 100 Thieves. They played it phenomenally throughout the whole series. I think there was a few mistakes from Envy. I mean, the patch is going to be totally different, I'm sure, when this whole thing goes to LAN. Everything's going to sort of change. But right now, I mean, there was a few small changes in the ban phase. I feel like that could have gone a little bit better. It's these micro adjustments that need to be improved upon for teams like Envy, for other teams that aren't adapting on the fly, because the 2 teams we have in North America in the grand finals have adapted time and time after again. We see this team, 100 Thieves, switch up. Terra, Black Panther, Terra, Bucky, Terra going in for the Wolverine. Delena playing that Psylocke to a high level. He's getting better and better, going with Vinny on those dives. This team is learning. They are not an algorithm, not a machine. They're human beings that are constantly adapting to the meta and to what's best. So this team, alongside Sentinels, I think are well-deserved for this top 2 slot. Envy still also deserves a shot just through sheer mechanics alone, but I think there are some things they need to work out, kinks they need to work out with these ban phases, because I think that there's definitely some room to improve, and same thing for 100 Thieves. So every team can maybe perfect the ban phase as it goes on, as people learn what happens, because it's only been around for a few weeks, and I think that as time progresses, every team is going to get better at banning and protecting.
Absolutely, couldn't agree more. And folks, we have our grand final matchup. Very passionate fan bases. Another rematch versus 100 Thieves and Sentinels. What a matchup. What do you know? This is going to be an intense one as 100 Thieves get the job done. Tara, as we look here with 18 finals, what an absolute demon. So difficult to go against. We talk about the success of this player, just, finds value with anyone that he is on, and when he's angry, seems to always clutch up. Just like you can't win against him because he will turn it around. But Sentinels, they did the reverse sweep. Let him get comfortable last time they saw him. Let him get comfortable, switch up the comp, get unique with it, and try to bounce back. And we'll talk more about that later on as we head towards the grand finals. But wow, well played again by 100 Thieves, who looked clinical on this attack.
Yeah, this is a team. It's not all about one player, but I mean, Tara on that Bucky was different, right? I mean, we saw some incredible Bucky play in EMEA with Sparker. A lot of people calling him the best player in the world. I think that's totally fair. That's a warranted opinion. Tara as well in the West Side. I think that he in North America definitely is a standout for sure, if not the best player in North America, and well deserved from him. I think some love in EMEA, by the way, since I'm talking about it real quick, definitely deserves to go to Pokey. I mean, that guy on Psylocke is disgusting, and I think it's one of the best Psylocks in the game. But for Tara, I think that he's well deserved of this position to go to LAN, to go against some of these top talent in the world, because every single time, even in losses, it feels like Tara is just him.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. The whole team popped off there. Everyone played well. You see 13 from Delena. Delena's been playing lights out in this series. Really, really, really strong. And then you got TTK with 7. You've got Vinny with 8. But I do hear we're going to have Tara. What's going on, brother, as you head into the grand finals? Congrats, man.
Thank you. Thank you.
How you doing, bro? Is your hand better? Are you feeling a little bit recovered from the other day?
Yeah, my hand's feeling perfectly fine, Grand finals in a messed up hand. Like,
yeah, what else
can it is?
Maybe this it is what it is, bro. The story is great. I think you guys are looking a lot better as well. I think you guys are like adapting a ton more. I mean, was that Iron Fist pick? Was that just on the fly? Was that just improv from you guys, or what's the idea there? Just to counter the Flyers?
I mean, second 2 maps that we just played, the Yggdrasil Path and Hollow de Jalia, we were just having some fun, We didn't get a warm-up, so we had to give Envy one more map, get another good warm-up map in. So,
I love it. I love the confidence, man. And I mean, they were definitely going hard to try to ban out some of your main heroes, but obviously pulling out Panther, pulling out Fist, Bucky, which I think, I think there's a ton of people that are talking about Bucky, but no one really seems to be playing him at this level of competition. A few people are, but what's your take on Bucky in the meta? You think he's still at the very top here?
It depends on where bans. He's still high. He's still like it's probably high A tier, but there's obviously more DPS that are more powerful, like Torch, Punisher, Psylocke, and all the other ones that are mainly played.
Yeah, it's definitely been a shakeup, I think, as we've progressed through this patch and stuff. And speaking of which, because you guys are going against the grand finals, maybe to sort of deviate the conversation away, because I want to hear your opinion. I know that there's talks of like all-star teams and stuff like that potentially for this region. So I want to get your take as you guys enter the grand finals versus Sentinels. I'll let you prepare obviously pretty soon and just relaxed. Who would you say is your all-star player per role, not your own team though, across the entire world potentially?
All-star player. If it's not for my own team, Kaluj as a shield tank, so Magneto Strange. Crimzo for off tank for Groot, Cap, and all those things. Sparker for flankers. Are we counting myself? I'm guessing. I'm guessing we're counting myself too.
No, not yourself. You can't. You counting you. Yeah, you're part of your own team. I mean, obviously we think.
Yeah. So I'm my own team.
Right.
I'm part of the own team. Yeah. So my other DPS would be Sparker.
Yeah.
My other support would probably be Saipe, and so I don't know it's between Kurova and Aramori. I need to hear comms from them. So
nice, love it. So you're heading in. You just talked about Kurova Aramori going into the grand finals against him, best of 7 last time. Obviously they swept on you guys, came back, and they used more unique comps to try to get a little tricky with it. They mentioned that that's the strategy against you guys. Have you guys put thought into that? Maybe seeing more unique stuff in scrims and trying to progress forward, preparing for that role.
I've had the plan set out since we lost last night. I stayed up for 4 hours, threw the mental health out, hit the hit the brainstorm, and we have the perfect plan to go into it.
Love it.
All right,
Awesome.
sick. Well, you know, we'll let you get to it. Is there anything you want to say before we let you go? Anything from? Looks like Captain Puerto Rico is trying to get involved somehow.
I think Captain Puerto Rico wants to say something.
Yo,
He wants to say something.
MB, it doesn't matter what you do, brother. You will never beat this team anymore. You gotta do better than that draft. You need to do way better, bro. You're not beating me, bro. You're not beating us.
I love
You are,
it.
bro.
Oh my God.
Absolutely love it.
I love it. Speaks for the team for sure.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to add before we say goodbye to you? Appreciate your time. I'm sure you want to get ready for the grand finals.
Nothing much. We're just all here. I think this whole team wants to prove themselves after what happened yesterday, and we're just gonna give it our all. Doesn't matter that we win or lose. We want to show our all and what we are as a team.
I appreciate it.
We are going to win.
Consoling Nade Shot.
I swear we are going to win.
Lost a lot of money.
Oh yeah, yeah. He made a lot of money yesterday night too.
Yeah, I saw him win it back.
That's true.
Yeah.
He's making money off you guys winning your guys' tournament instead of LA Thieves flopping out or first round. What the hell's with that? Anyway, sorry, that's a little bit side topic, but you know, congratulations to you guys, Tara. Obviously, good luck in your match, man.
Thank you.
Good luck, guys.
Tara from 100 Thieves was